Talk Show. Just ahead, Tim Mahaffey, president of the Lone Star Jeep Club. Free beginners wheeling course.
All right.
Okay, free. Did you hear that? It's
no charge.
Free.
Yeah.
No
Free
charge.
is good.
But you're going to have to pay some money to put gas in the tank to get there.
Well,
Just saying. Jeff has a look at the upcoming racing events, and that pretty much starts this weekend, does it not?
Yeah. A lot of
Looking
stuff
forward to
going on.
that. Also, just ahead on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show, we've got some other goodies we're going to throw in there, including this week's news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, we always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong, so glad that you could join us on this Saturday. It is cold, it is breezy here in the Houston, Texas area. We've already received our high temperature for the day. I think it was about 55 at midnight, and it's continuing to drop as the day progresses.
I got up about 5:30 and it was about 50 degrees and it was dropping ever since.
Yeah, so, Burr, there's that. All right, I did want to remind you that, and I said this in our tease, that I had lunch with Gary Garnett down at Keels and Wheels, and the 28th annual Keels and Wheels Car and In the Water Boat Show returns to the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas, May 4th and 5th. Don, why are you talking about that now? Well, because they are things are changing down there, and they're going to be bringing in different things. And this year, I'm told, kind of under the cloak, that it is going to be a Restomod highlighted show.
Oh.
Restomods.
Okay.
And they're getting some Restomodders in with their clever designs and paint jobs and that sort of stuff.
Is there such a thing as a Restomod boat?
That's a good question. We'll have to ask. We're going to talk to him later on. All right? So we got that coming up. Okay, so let's get now to our guest this morning is Tim Mahaffey, and Tim is with the Lone Star Jeep Club. Tim, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you very much. I understand your secretary of the club, Christine Voida, is with us as well.
Hello.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, it's good to have you guys with us. Thank you. Is it cold up there?
Yes,
It
it's
is.
about 34, feels like 23.
There you go. So we've got our weather report from North Texas.
I remember when I was 23.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. I wish I could say. Lone Star Jeep Club. Tell us about that, Tim. Let's talk about the history of the Lone Star Jeep Club. How far does it go back?
The Jeep Club goes back to 1997, so over 25 years we've been around. We're a nonprofit registered organization in Texas, and we're a Jeep-only club. And we have members that are in Dallas, Houston. We had some in New Mexico, Missouri, and Arkansas. So we kind of span the Texas area and surrounding states.
You like this car show. You span the globe.
We'd love to span the globe.
I don't know as if you'd want all those members, however. So let me ask you something. So when I think of Jeep, I always think of Wranglers. Do you allow things like Wagoneers in there?
We do. Yes. Certainly.
Jeep tag.
Do you have any wood-sided vinyl on any of the Jeep Wagoneers in there?
No, we don't. We may put some duct tape on it once in a while, depending on what happens on the trail. But
It's got to be the right color duct tape, though.
What a great idea!
Yeah.
We could have some
grain duct tape.
wood paneling duct tape. What do you think? Try to match it up.
That's a great idea.
I thought so. Well, you can keep it for free.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about this event that you've got coming. First of all, do you guys do a lot of events? I mean, like a once a month thing, besides meetings and minutes and that kind of stuff? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about going out and having fun.
We are known as a wheeling club in North Texas.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
Christine.
so let me ask you, and I'm sorry, I'm a car guy. I have owned a Jeep in the past at one point in my life. What is a wheeling club? What does wheeling mean?
We get out and we go. Wheeling means off-roading.
Off-roading.
So we go out off-roading. We call them wheeling events or runs. Not to be confused with a 10K, but we actually drive our Jeeps off-roading. We call them runs and wheeling events. And yes, we have multiple events at least once a month. Getting out, putting your Jeep in four-wheel drive, and hitting the trail and having a good time with everybody in the club.
So is it an event within an event? So you get, say, 20, 30, 40 Jeeps, and you drive out to a location, and then at that location you do your wheeling. So it's more of a double, driving there and then driving the event.
Yeah, depending on where the location is, because some of the places we go, like in Barnwell, which is in Gilmer, Texas, it's about 3.5 hours from the Dallas area.
Oh.
So oftentimes we'll meet, somewhere, and then we'll travel out together just in case something happens on the road
Right.
while you're on the way.
Yeah, gotcha.
I mean, when you put on these events, 3.5 hours away, that to me, that would be traveling out there on a Friday night, so you'd have all day Saturday or Saturday to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do that frequently?
Yes, we do.
That's good.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
We for us car guys, we got an event coming up called the Hot Rod Tour of Texas, and it's a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We start off on Thursday night, all meeting up down in Victoria, and then traveling up toward you, and wind up North Texas on Sunday. And we just have such a great time, and it's just a great time being in a long row of cars. And in some cities, they welcome you through and have motorcycle escorts and all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I would imagine it's kind of the same thing. I mean, you get 40 Jeeps going down the road together. People go, hey, look at that.
People, and Christine can talk to that too. People do stop and look, but I don't think we've ever had a police escort. For some reason, they were following us one time with flashing lights, but never in front of us.
Escort in reverse.
Yeah, that's it. All you need to do is just call a couple of those little small towns where, they got 1 or 2 police officers working whenever you're going to roll through, and just say, hey, heads up. Wanted to let you guys know we're going to go through town if you want to get a gang out.
That is a terrific idea. I think we're going to do that. That's a great idea.
We're full of ideas today.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Full of something.
Full of something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Christine, tell me about yourself and your involvement with the Lone Star Jeep Club.
So I am a car girl at heart. I've been in the car business for 31 years, and I got into Jeeping after breast cancer. I bought my first Jeep, and I actually wheel with them just as hard as they do.
Oh, very
So I will go on the really challenging trails just as much as the guys. I am one of 2 females in the club that typically drive on trails. I've gone as far out as Kingman, Arizona to wheel, Moab, up to Missouri, and I do all the locals with them. So over time, I've built out my Jeep. So I run on 37s with a lift. I'm only 5'4", so it is a big climb for me to get in because my tires are waist high.
Wow.
But I can do just as much as they can, and they welcome me with open arms through the time period. So I've been on the board now 3 years with them.
So it sounds like they're afraid of you.
No, I don't think they're afraid, but I actually bought a second Jeep yesterday for my daily driver. I bought the 4xe.
Do y'all do
4xe.
Do y'all do any events like cruise-ins or drive-ins that just you hang out in a parking lot rather than going on a wheeling?
Not typically.
Yeah.
We
No.
have done a couple. Yeah, typically we're more about getting on the trails.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said for that. I like that. I will tell you that my very short experience was actually sponsored by Jeep, and I think that Mars, you went on that trip as well. We went, where did we go? Some way up in the mountains somewhere. Where was that?
We didn't go to Moab,
Where
did
you
you?
had where you had the brakes lock up on the thing and slid down the hill.
Oh, that was that.
That was Tuesday.
No, yeah, no. There was one in Utah, but that doesn't seem like that was the right place.
No, it was either in Colorado. I don't remember, but lots of mountains, and we were all in Jeep Wranglers, and what was that? Wasn't the Jeep Liberty? Was the Compass? Maybe it was the Compass. I don't remember, but they took us up to the top of a mountain. There was no road up there. It was a trail up there. And it got really tight when you got up to the top of the mountain, and you didn't dare look down to the side because you would have freaked out.
Yeah, not for me.
And, at some points along that trail on the way up there, we had to have spotters so we wouldn't venture off of where we needed to be. So have you done things like that?
Yes, we did top of the world out in Moab, where they guide you all the way to the end so you can get photos of looking like you're going to drive off.
Great.
Yeah.
We did
Nice.
Christmas Mountain at Big Bend.
I've heard of that.
And Hell's Gate out in Moab as well. A couple
Yeah.
of us drove
Yep.
up Hell's Gate. So yeah.
Now, when you go on these adventures, I mean, everybody drives their Jeep there.
Some
We
people
have a-
trailer.
Some people trailer, yeah. There's
Yeah.
a couple of members that have trailers, and they're running 42s, and it's a really
They're
modified
really
Jeep.
off-roaders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I remember, I think it was down at Woody's Waterfront Car Show that I saw a couple of Jeeps down there. And if they had a license plate, they had to steal it from somewhere because this thing did not look like it was going to be, street legal by any stretch of the imagination. And like you say, a couple of them trailer them. Those are the really serious guys that have done some serious suspension work. Not that a regular Jeep Wrangler needs suspension work for most of us, but if you get really serious about it, you really want to have some more articulation in the suspension,
Yep.
and maybe some extra horsepower or different gearing and that sort of stuff. You have members that are really into that.
Oh yeah, yep. So when we wheel, we have three groups: easy, medium, and harm. Harm is the hard group. So those are the folks that hit the really really difficult obstacles. So
Not for the novice.
Not for the novice. No, not
Yeah.
for the novice.
Well, I've seen some shows on television where these guys that you're talking about, that, I mean, they get into a gully where, I mean, I didn't know a suspension could travel that far side to
Yeah.
side. And, I mean, almost on their sides trying to get up this,
And
challenge, so we say.
The body and the frame flex too. I mean, that's all part of it, I guess.
It gets really serious, and it's way, way out of my league. I mean, put me on a drag strip, okay, I got that, but to do that, I mean, it takes some real talent. So, where did you gain your talent? Just by doing those kinds of things over and over?
Yeah, experience. Getting out as much as we can to go wheel. Just this learning over experience, learning how your rig reacts to how you drive it on the trail, learning about your new equipment, what lines to take. And Christine underestimated herself. She's one of the best people I've ever seen actually to find a line to get over an obstacle, and is an expert driver out on the trail. So she's one of the best at that, but it's just over experience. And I know we wanted to talk about the beginning wheelers school class that we have coming up.
Yep.
One of the things there is, a lot of people go out and see the commercials, right? See Jeeps driving through snow, driving through mud, and they get it. And we sometimes refer to them like mall crawlers or pavement princesses. But these people don't
I've
understand.
been referred to that as
Yeah, you
like
have.
that before.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but probably not in a Jeep. Is my
No,
guess.
yes,
So,
no.
Yeah.
It's another
So-
show.
Yeah, it's another
That's
show.
another-
That was a club, actually. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, so people again like they want to go do that, right? Not everyone. Some of them like it as a daily driver, but there's some things to do to prepare before you get onto the trail, like letting air out of your tires,
Sure.
explaining why you need to let air out of your tires. What kind of tires do you need? What's the difference between all terrain and mud terrain? What tire manufacturer do you want to go with? Do light bars help with traction or not? People, have all these questions. And so we go over, how to even engage into four-wheel drive. People don't even know how to put it down into four high. Well, four high is easy, but not down into four low. Disconnecting your sway bar so you do have that articulation when you're out on the trail. And if someone has lockers, how and when to use those lockers on the trail, right? We had cases where some folks had the lockers on the trail entirely, and you actually lose some control of your Jeep when you have your lockers on full time. And, so we teach people how and when to use your lockers, and even things like how to remove your hardtop, what to eat, what to take with you on the trail to eat to keep your energy level, your concentration up, and things like hydration that you need to worry about, and then navigation too, how to navigate your way around a park. So we go over all those things in our free beginners wheeling class that we're started up this year, just to get people prepared and interested into the community.
I think
We're
the
excited
Jeep
about
that
it.
I had was about a 1980. I bought it off the showroom floor, and it had the lockers that you had to get out of the Jeep and then go and lock them actually
hubs,
at
yeah.
the hubs.
The front hubs.
Yeah. And That was a pain. Now it's all by push button. We don't have to even throw things in gear or anything like that. I mean, it's all just push the button with these new Jeeps.
Well, unless you upgrade to a different axle. So the 1-ton axles, you still have to get out and lock the hubs yourself.
The 1-ton
There's no-
axles.
Yeah, there's no push button for that, like the 60s in the front, right? And so you still have to get out and lock your hubs.
Well,
So-
one thing that you didn't mention, and I saw this on a car show called the Holden Brothers, and they were beefing up an old Scout. Nope, take that back. It was an actual
FJ?
No, it was a Blazer from, I guess, the 70s. That's what it looked like, and they'd taken the top off of it. They did an extensive amount of suspension work on it, but they actually put bead locks on these tires that were $700 a piece.
Wow.
I mean, talk about some knobbies, but I didn't know about bead locks on tires like that. And they said, oh, yeah, well, we're going to run it at 5 pounds of pressure when we get out there and we try to go up the side of a hill. I don't think that most people realize what a bead lock is, or why would you run 5 pounds of pressure in your tires.
Exactly. A lot of people don't know, and a lot of people don't know in the state of Texas, it's actually illegal to run bead locks on the highway. They're really
Wow.
intended for off-road use only. So
So the ones we
you know,
see on a Jeep that are running the highway, those are kind of just decorations.
The facade.
we'll just say some people push the envelope a little bit.
Well,
they're traveling to a destination, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
you know,
okay.
Well, the other thing is, too, they make some what appear to be bead locks, but
Yeah.
they're not true bead locks. Yeah,
Faux bead locks.
yeah. And they, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Which now they run bead grips.
Bead
So
grips.
those are, they now have bead grips, which work very similar. And I can go down to 10 pounds of pressure. They look more like steel wheels, but they have the same technology.
Interesting.
So on the wheeling side of it, when you're out there and you're doing your climbs and your organization, is there a lot of damage to those Jeeps? Because I'd be afraid to dent something or roll it over or just
Mostly
ruin it.
trail rash.
Trail
I
rash.
do.
trail rash.
Yeah, trail rash. But I mean, I do have some. I have a gash in my fender. It's been there for a couple years.
So that's like
It's
a badge
from
of honor.
boulder. To me, it is, yes. And I don't plan on changing it till I destroy the fender. I have a broken tail light. I have a set of extras of tail lights.
So you trailer
because
yours?
those are common. No, I drive mine. It was my daily driver until about April of last year.
So that's where you get to pushing the limits on some things, eh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had busted control arms. I broke my axle once. What else? I ripped my fender off. We have flat tires. We have, the tires will actually come out of the bead locks on the trail. I don't think we've had anybody roll over yet, but we've seen rollovers on the trail itself.
So when you've got something that, like, for instance, a broken axle, how do you handle that? How do you get it back home? Somebody brings a trailer?
Yeah, somebody bought a trailer. In my case, I didn't have one, so it was in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and it was going to be close to $3,000 to flat tow it back. And someone had suggested just go to U-Haul, rent a truck and a trailer, and then take it back, which cost like $250. So
Yep.
that's what I did. And then it was push, pull, drag to get me off of the trail. So it was actually on Rubicon Ridge, which is a badge of honor trail up there right at the beginning. And it took forever to get me off of that trail. So, but yeah, that's what you do. You help each other out, right? That's why you don't go out alone, and you help your fellow Jeeper on the trail and off the trail, right? That's part of the Jeep community itself.
Yeah.
Trail rash. I like it.
Well, listen, guys, it's great to talk to you. It's the free beginners wheeling course sponsored by Collin County Off-Road, and it's going to be up in McKinney next weekend. Is that correct?
Next weekend, if you're in the area, feel free to stop by. It is free. We'll probably spring for some refreshments as it gets closer. So love to have people come out and learn how to wheel and learn about the club and meet one of our sponsors. A great sponsor, Collin County Off-Road, has been really, really good to us. So
Very nice. And how about a website for you guys, or somehow to get a hold of you?
yep, www.lsjc.org. We're a nonprofit, so LSJC.
LSJZ, Lone Star Jeep Club.
Jeep Club.
Duh.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little
Lord.
slow. It's a little early on a Saturday morning. Listen, Tim and Christine, we sure thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's been a great conversation. Let's stay in touch and give us an update on how things go next weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll definitely do. We'll send you some pictures. And thanks for having us again.
Thank you,
Really appreciate it.
Christine. Take care.
You bet.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com, and podcasts from your favorite podcast provider. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Okay, welcome back to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. If you'd like to get in touch with us, all you have to do is shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. The racing calendar is sponsored by the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge Race Series. Check it out at tmccc.com. Jeffrey?
Yep. Okay, you want to do the racing or you want to go to the ice?
Let's do the racing.
Okay, well, racing is happening this month, starting right now. Last night we had the Craftsman Truck Series racing. A young man by the name of Nick Sanchez won the truck race, and right after that they were running the ARCA. Now there's a threat of rain for the weekend for the 500, so they're trying to get as much things as done as possible. And today you've got the Xfinity race at the Xfinity United Rentals 300 at 4 p.m. Last night was the truck race.
If it doesn't rain out.
If it doesn't rain out, but they're trying to squeeze it on in. They're moving up the schedule, as they say.
The schedule.
The schedule. And
Yeah.
then tomorrow is the big event, which is the Daytona 500, February 18th. Coverage starts at 2:30 for the race, but your pre-race starts at 11. And I don't know if it's on at FS1 or Fox,
is so stupid.
but is on your local Fox station. There are tickets available. So, Mike, if you want to go, you can jet out right now and be there. So, and then we've got some things coming up with Angel later on and her racing. So we've got that coming up.
No problem. Race then we're going to check out the crawfish and the alligators.
Crawfish and alligators. And then we got got NHRA coming up, and you got Formula One with their debacle and all kinds of strange stuff there.
All right. Well, let's do ice racing.
Let's do ice racing.
That was a clever call on your part.
Well, I was looking up stuff to kind of do some features, and it's wintertime. I was cold, got the chill, and here we go.
You got the chill. Lord, I got the chill.
That's right. So ice racing, just like trying to walk on an icy sidewalk in stilettos, ice racing comes with a unique set of challenges. Ice racing cars aren't your typical run-of-the-mill sedans. These are specially modified masterpieces. At the heart lies the tires. Cars' tires are studded for a firm grip on icy surfaces because grip is the survival. Each tire hosts hundreds of metal studs ready to cut into the ice. Suspension mods keep the car level and in control because that's very important to have your suspension just right on that ice. Lower center of gravity, wide track width, increased wheel bases are the best way to go. Another part of this, getting it all set up, is weight.
Those are cars that I don't even recognize.
Well, they're built
Ice
for
racing
ice
cars.
racing,
Yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
Now there's the weight. So too much in the front and you plow into the ice. Too much in the back and you spin out. It's a delicate balancing act. How you set your vehicle
But
up.
you know, these guys have nothing to do in the wintertime, so this is perfect.
Well, this
for
is
them.
what they do in the winter. I mean, this is a process.
So in
yeah.
the fall, they get the cars ready.
I would imagine there's probably a all year thing.
You're a Michigander. You
I
should
never
know
did
these
ice
things.
racing. Yeah, I never did that. I was too cold. Then there's the engine. You got turbos, you got cold air intakes, you got all the exhaust. Those are allowed. All the modifications to an engine are allowed depending on what class and what you're racing on, be it a lake or just a field of ice. Making a car into an ice racing machine requires more than just mechanical ability, Mike. It requires skill, daring, and above all, it requires a willingness to brave the elements.
Oh, you're going to talk now?
He's going to talk now.
One of our viewers said that's where ice racing is where drifting got started.
Right. Well, ice racing originally started, I think, over in Europe because of Austria and things of that nature. So brace yourself. You're all geared up in your Igloo racing vehicle. Are you ready to go racing? Well, not quite yet. First, check the temperatures. Cars, like humans, appreciate letting the engine run until the idle reaches the optimum temperature. Checking all the fluids, Mike. Oil, coolant, brake fluid. These liquids should be winter-friendly versions to brave the cold. So you got to make sure your car's prepped or you're not going to have a good event in racing.
Yeah.
Finally, the driver. Well, if you're equipped to withstand the cold, after all, you can't expect to be racing a car and shivering like a chihuahua. So it's a game of subtle and Goldilocks principles. In other words, not too much, not too little, but just right. Same goes for braking on ice. Steady, slow and steady wins the race. The best part, Mike, like you said, is the drifting and the grip. So brace yourself. Let's go
And
for a
there's
race.
lots of drinking going on, I'm sure.
Eggnog. I'm thinking
that's-
eggnog and
That's
hot
some of those
chocolate.
hot toddies.
That's some of that liquid to help keep you warm and liquid, winter-friendly
But
liquid.
there are classes that sanction stuff and all that.
I'm
good
sure
things going on.
I'm sure that there are. Hey, today's In Will Time Car Talk Show is sponsored by the group of original Lupi Tortilla restaurants in Houston, Beaumont, and College Station, Gulf Coast Auto Shield, and Pro-Am Auto Accessories. We continue the In Will Time Car Talk Show right after this quick break.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
streaming and podcasting worldwide. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we talk about some of the events on the In Wheel Time remote broadcast schedule, along with, hopefully, Gary Garnett, director of Keels and Wheels, the car and in-the-water boat show, sometimes known as Concours d'Elegance.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's coming up in May.
Yeah.
Is he ready, Mike? Okay. Well, you'll let me know when he is. At any rate, so we're going to talk to him about the Keels and Wheels, and we're hoping to do that here momentarily. I did want to mention that we next week are going to be from the Hemi Hideout.
Yes.
It's an open house, but I think it's mainly a Corvette event.
Yeah, Corvette Club. I don't know.
Here's what I'm hoping.
Big Corvette Club.
Yeah, big Corvette clubs.
Multiple clubs?
It could be. They said they were looking for 150 plus Corvettes,
Wow.
so maybe it is multiple clubs.
I don't know. I have no clue. But I'll tell you this: that I'm going to try. I'm going to try to have
Your baby rolling.
Yeah. And take it out there.
But we talked about
to
that
say-
last night,
Just to
so-
say that
You're part of the
it's out.
organization, yeah.
Well,
Corvette.
yeah, but I'm not part of a Corvette club. It's kind of like I was talking to you about. I would love to get on a bowling league, but because of my hours, it doesn't work out for me. My actual job hours, because I don't get off, and when I work the afternoon shift, I don't get off till 7 p.m.
I'd love to join a bowling league, but I don't bowl very well. So there you go.
But they've got people that don't bowl very well in leagues. They do it for fun,
Yeah.
and beer drinking.
Well, don't
But
drink a lot of beer.
it's much more popular up in the northern states.
right.
It's become a religion up there for some.
That's how I met Kathy.
Bowling?
My parents bowled with. She used to babysit for my cousin, and my cousin and my parents would bowl on a league on Sunday evenings, Sunday afternoons. And there was one time they came over to the house after bowling, and they said, "We need you to want you to meet this girl." I said, whatever. And we met. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the babysitter.
The babysitter, yeah.
Oh,
The
my
babysitter.
God,
But
he
she wasn't
married the-
babysitting me. I
Didn't
still
they
need a
make a movie,
babysitter.
Adventures with Babysitters, or something like that?
I'm not familiar with that.
And I had
Maybe
a cool
I
car.
should be, but-
I had a cool car. She liked the car more
That
than
was
me.
not- yeah,
She
exactly.
still likes the car more than me.
Yeah.
So,
That would be the Nova.
yeah. Yeah. And my mother used to bowl every Wednesday morning with her ladies' league. Yeah.
Really?
So it's a true fact that, it's almost a cult.
Well, because it's cold outside,
Yeah.
snow up to your yin yang, whatever that is,
Yeah.
and nothing else to do except to go inside a nice warm bowling
You
alley.
get a bowling alley hot dog and
yeah,
and Coke
and a pitcher of beer, and
Yeah.
you're ready to go.
golden. Yep.
It is golden. All right. Speaking of golden, there's this guy that I met. I guess I was trying to think exactly when it was, and I think it was in the 80s. And I did some work for him. I didn't know him in particular, but I knew some of his producers. And it was a company that did travel videos. And I did the voiceovers on them back when you did that sort of thing,
Yeah.
before the internet stuff. And anyway, I did a lot of work there. And the owner's name was Gary Garnett. Well, decades went by, and he sold the business and blah, 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 blah. Time went by.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, I don't remember where it was, but I was at some place, and there is Gary Garnett. I'm going, wait, Travelview? Yeah, done. You worked for me. Going, yes, I did. Guess what? He's back.
He's back.
And it's a different kind of take. Gary Garnett, good morning to you, sir.
We don't have an image
Just
yet.
dropped him.
Yeah.
Oh,
There he
great.
is.
Can you hear us, Gary?
I hear you now, yes.
All right, very good. Gary Garnett, it's good to see you, my friend. Not that I haven't. I saw you on Wednesday. We had lunch together. But Gary,
We did.
Gary is now the director of Keels and Wheels, and so we had a nice conversation and talking about some of the stuff that you guys have got coming up at this year's Keels and Wheels. Now, I know that it's a ways away. May 4th and 5th is when the Keels and Wheels this year is going to take place. And this is a Concours d'Elegance. And it is a high-end car show that you pay good money to go see some very expensive cars and some very unique cars as well from all over the United States. And Gary, I understand that this year you're doing 60 years of Ford Mustang and Donzi boats.
That's correct.
Well, how were you able to gather up classic Ford Mustangs at the concours level?
Well, we've got connections all over the country with collectors, and this has been going on for 28 years. Bob Fuller started this, and we've got a group of guys that love cars, and Tommy Hammond, Uzi. We've got a bunch of guys that know the right people, and there's a lot of cars, a lot of Mustangs, and a lot of Donzis in the state of Texas and in the Houston area, as well as all around. So we are just on the phone inviting those people to bring their cars. We have a car selection committee that actually looks at each one, pictures, etc., and make sure we get the quality cars.
Well, and that's another unique thing about this concours, because this is not one of those that everybody in America can just say, oh, I'm going to enter my car here. You have to be invited by Keels and Wheels in Houston, right?
That's correct. It's not a Saturday night parking lot show.
Well, not that there's anything wrong with that. No,
those are great. In fact, some of our cars are there.
There's
quite honestly, we have a lot of collectors that participate in. There's car shows going on all over Houston all the time.
Yeah,
and we've got people in doing that. But ours is it's a unique setting. We're the only concourse in the country or the world probably that does boats and cars. It's held at Lakewood Yacht Club. And, of course, we have the boats there. We have a lot of the old vintage wooden boats. We will again this year. But Donzi, being 60th anniversary, we're getting a lot of interest. And there's a lot of beautiful restored Donzis out in the world. I happen to have a 1967 Sweet 16 totally restored that I will have there.
Are you going to have it in competition with the other ones?
I am.
So there's not going to be any kind of good old boy pat on the back kind of deals going on under table, is it?
Oh, no, not at all. The judges that'll be judging that, I don't even know them.
Yeah. Well, and how do you think you're going to hold up with that?
Well, mine's pretty nice, but there's an awful lot of beautiful ones out there, so I don't know.
Well, explain to everybody, I have heard of Donzi. Are they still in business?
Oh yeah. There's a really strong Donzi Restoration Club I'm a member of, and I get text messages, emails every day, from the group. There's just a lot of them out there. I didn't realize that until I bought this Donzi, and then I started getting involved in it and doing a little bit of research, and it's a big group. And of course the Mustangs, we all know what the Mustangs are.
Yeah, to say the least. As a matter of fact, we had one that was right across from us at this year's Autorama that was a very unique car. It was a pre-production Mustang.
Right.
And
it'll be at Keels and Wheels. That's Eric Lipper's car.
Yeah, red one.
Yeah, it's a beautiful red one, and the story behind that car is truly amazing. And you just walk up to the car, you're thinking, well, it's just a regular old Mustang. No, it's not. It's a pre-production model, meaning that it was hand-built by Ford Motor Company to be on display and not to be sold. And he got this car, and it is truly amazing, the intricacies of it and the uniqueness of it, where, there's certain parts of the car that an inch longer here.
Right, it's a different length and width.
Yeah. And, it's truly amazing. And those are the kinds of things that you see at Keels and Wheels, isn't it?
That's correct, yes. We try to find the most unique, the best restored, the best kept cars in the country. We spend a lot of money bringing, I think they told me our budget this year is $20,000 for transport to bring a lot of these cars in from museums. A lot of the what we call the big iron or the old iron car, the concours older vintage cars, are getting hard to find. Unfortunately, and I'm a lot older than you, Don, but our age group.
Thank you.
Thank you for not including Jeff in that.
Exactly.
I didn't say miles. I said age.
I understand. Yes, exactly.
Okay. A lot of the old cars are going to museums. They were in family collections, and obviously the sons and daughters of the owners may not want to keep them. So a lot of them are going to museums, and they're getting harder and harder to find, which is one of the reasons this year we're also adding for the younger generation and our generation. I think you remember, Don, when back in the 60s or early 70s, maybe one of the cars you had a 68 Camaro or 69 Camaro or a 69 Corvette. And now that we've made a little bit of money and we want to have that, we want it to be a brand new 2024 drivable car. And we've got a bunch of builders that are building these cars, and we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars with new suspension, new frames, new brakes, new motors, everything. In fact, we're doing one that Smitty's Rehab Garage has been in a build with for over 3 years. It's a Chevelle, and we're going to unveil and present that car to the owner from Peru at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. It'll be the first time the car's been uncovered, shown, and handed over to the owner of it.
Wow. How cool is that? Well, the other thing, too, is that this is going to really kind of revolve, at least a certain number of cars are going to be resto mods in a special display, correct?
That's correct. The center tent where we featured the race cars last year and where we featured Ford versus Ferrari will be dedicated to 25 to 30 of the highest resto mods in the country. We've got Range Rover Defenders coming in that are just unbelievable. We've got Corvettes, Camaros, several local builders are our sponsors. Creative Class and Custom out of Kemah, Smitty's Rehab Garage, and we've got 2 or 3 others that are pending that'll be coming in. And a lot of their work will be shown. They'll be there for people to talk to in case you want to have a resto mod built. And then a lot of their clients' cars will be there on display.
So, Gary, the resto mods on the car side, do you have any resto mod boats that'll be pulling in there?
I'm not. We've got some. They're not really called resto mod boats per se. We've got Donzis and boats that have been upgraded in horsepower and engines, and these things done to them. And I think there'll be a lot of those. We've got several interesting boats that'll be on display that we're negotiating right now that people have not seen. So yes, there will be some really interesting boats there.
Very good.
We're focused very heavy because again, the old wooden boats are getting hard to find and hard to get.
And they're also extremely expensive if they're restored correctly.
They're extremely expensive to restore, and they're also expensive to maintain. That's not something you just leave sit out in the weather, or they've got to be sitting in humidified garages, and it's a continual work to keep those boats in first class shape.
I never thought about that. In the car business, we try to keep ours all nice and dry and nice and cozy. But,
right.
The humidity, I would imagine, does play a big part in that. You don't want the seams to start pulling apart on a boat.
Well, it's kind of interesting. We've had many times when we bring those old wooden boats in and they're put in the water, and we bring them over to the dock there at Lakewood, which is right below the club there. They're seeping a little water through those wooden seams, and after being in the water for a little while, they'll swell up, but it makes you nervous when you start to see them leak a little.
Yeah, needless to say, I mean, I could see me in there bailing water, at midnight, going, let's keep it off the bottom of the bay out there.
Did you attend this year's Automotive Show at NRG?
I did.
What'd you think?
I always liked any of the car shows. I've been a car nut since I was 14 years old, and my first car was a 1930 Model A. At 14 years old. I can't believe they let us get a driver's license back in those days at 14 years old, but they did. And that was my first car, and I guess I've loved cars and boats as well. I'm a very avid a boater and member of the yacht club and that. So I go to just. In fact, I understand my son just texted me and he said, "Conroe swap meets today, Dad. Did we forget it?" And I went, "Uh-oh."
I guess you did.
Well, you know what? It's not too late. It's still early in the morning.
You're exactly right, and that's exactly probably where I'll be heading.
Well, how many cars do you own now? Collector cars?
I have kind of a unique collection. Mine are not necessarily show cars. I have a variety. I think I have 16 now. I bought another one last week, so I think I have 16.
But you know what? Those are the
Louisiana to pick up a 1927 Oldsmobile 4-door sedan, totally restored on Wednesday of this week.
nice. You going to drive it back?
Oh yeah, it'll only take me. I'll be here by Keels and Wheels. No, I'm gonna trailer it back. I've got an interesting little car. I think I showed you a picture of it. A 1969 Cheetah, which was the answer to the Mustang.
Yeah.
It's a hit car, but there's very few of them around. I took it to Coffee and Cars, which we have at Lakewood week before last, and I was sitting next to Eric's Mustang, the red Mustang you were talking about.
Right.
And it was an interesting thing. Here's a multi-$1,000 car sitting there, and then my little Cheetah. But it's sure fun to drive.
I know. I've seen one restored on a television show not that long ago, and I'm going, I remember the name and vaguely remember the car.
And the purpose.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Opel GT, if I'm not
Yeah, a
mistaken.
little bit.
Kind of got that kind of look to it, except it had a hotter motor in it. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Oh yeah, it has a 400 horsepower motor in it, and it's 2,600 pounds. Has an 18-inch drive shaft, so you're sitting kind of on the rear end.
How funny. Listen, I really excited about working with you guys in Wheel Time Car Talk Show and the 28th annual Keels and Wheels. And you said, we really need to start kind of promoting it and getting people thinking that way, May 4th and 5th. And I said, well, why don't we do that? Let's have you on the show. And we appreciate you taking the time today. And I want to invite all of our viewers and listeners to be sure and check it out, keels-wheels.com. You can get all of the information there. Can you buy tickets yet?
You can buy tickets. Go to our website. It gives you a lot of information. If you're coming in from out of town, we've got hotels that have specials there. The city of Seabrook and the city of Nassau Bay are both our big sponsors, as well as Seabrook Plaza, which is the new Margaritaville hotel and condos that's coming in. But yeah, all that information is on the web. Go online. You can buy discount tickets early, which is a plus. If you wait till the day at the gate, they're $40, but you can get them for $30 online. We have buses running from parking lots all over the area from Nassau Bay, right off the Gulf Freeway.
And speaking of that, Gary, let me interrupt here and just say that you're going to have a 146 cam stationed out there. So the day that they finish the construction, it's going to be tight, but they're going to finish that rehab just before Keels and Wheels, and it's going to be wide open.
Big celebration.
People from around the world are going to be flooding in
Cheering.
off of 146 because that's basically where Seabrook and the Lakewood Yacht Club
A lot of
is.
tears.
Right at the corner of 146. I was out there yesterday. They are opening up the ramps now and the access, and I would say by early April that'll be fully accessible. We had a little bit of problem last year because it is congested coming in from that direction, but this year it will not be. And you mentioned that the cam. We have a camera that will be set up that we will be broadcasting Keels and Wheels 24 hours to our website and to the world. Showing for the people that can't get here from around the world. We'll be showing the cars and we'll be doing interviews. We're going to be working with you guys who hopefully will be there with us and promoting that, as well as we're looking forward to working with you. Like you said, it's been years since we've seen each other, and we worked together more years ago than we're going to tell anybody.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. We have grandchildren now, or grandchildren. Who knows? Gary, it's great to talk to you. It's great to talk to you, my friend. Thanks so much for all the information. We'll be in touch, and we're going to talk to you again here in the next few weeks, and keep up to date on what you got going on Keels and Wheels, okay?
I look forward to seeing you. And just off the cuff, I met a guy at the club yesterday that you went to high school with, Bill Kingsbury.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yes. Absolutely,
so
I did.
The next time you come out to have lunch with me, Bill wants to be there. He said he's got some stories he wants to tell.
I'm sure he does, yes.
The last time we see him.
My reputation seems to precede me. Gary, thanks again, my friend.
Thank you very much, and we look forward to working with you.
Thanks,
you
Gary.
too. Gary Garnett and Keels and Wheels. Okay.
Yeah, we need to take a recorder with us when we go to lunch with
Hell
him.
no, you're not going to. There's no cameras or recorders allowed. Cruise In events calendar. Does anybody have that, Mr. Mars? I know that you're
I
busy
have some
being social.
events that I would like to
All right,
talk
please
about.
do.
And I got cruisins.
All right.
Coming
but
up-
I tell you what, hold that thought because I need to take a quick break.
Okay.
So you can gather your thoughts because
Absolutely.
everybody wants to listen to this. All right.
I know I do.
Me too. All right. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Well, that's just great, Don Armstrong. Right on the butt. I was making fun of Mars being social and everything, and here I am
Being social.
Yeah, being social. So, welcome back to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. You know our show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com, and podcasts from your favorite podcast provider. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is everywhere, and we invite you to tell your friends about it. Okay, Cruise In events calendar. You guys have
Okay,
that.
I've got the Cruise In calendar.
Okay.
And what we're talking about is Clear Lake Cars and Coffee is going to be at Grace Church at 14505 Gulf Freeway. It is today from 7 a.m. right now till 11. Bundle up, dress warm because it's cold out. Cypress Cars and Coffee is at Fairfield Baptist Church. That's at 27240 US 290. That's from 8 a.m. It's going on right now until 10 o'clock this morning. And then we have the Kingwood Classic Cruisers and Cars and Coffee. That's at Whataburger in Kingwood. Kingwood, Texas, 4545 Kingwood Drive, today from 8:30 to 10. I'll kind of go through this. We've got one, my favorite. I've been down there a couple of times, have seen it. I haven't been to the cruise yet, but it's Wharton Cruise Night. It's tonight. It is at Domino's Pizza in Wharton. It's a nice little facility. It's at 309 East Bowling Highway, which is pretty much in nowhere. It's kind of in between two big cities.
That's called a cruise. It's
That's
you
right.
cruise over there.
And it's 6 p.m., so it's going to be a nice drive. Once the weather clears up, gets a little bit more sunny, and it'd be a nice thing to do. Conroe Cruisers, Saturday night cruise tonight at Kroger Marketplace parking lot, 341 South Loop, 336 West in Conroe, Texas, 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. tonight. So
All right.
be there or be square.
Now, does Mars have anything, or was he just teasing this?
He's going to do it in the next
I'm going to do the events calendar.
When
in the next
later?
hour.
Yeah, when it comes up.
Okay. Well, I just
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we got it. We're
Okay.
good.
I did want to mention to you that there are some recalls that I wanted to tell you about. Oh, yeah, always. Tailgate may open while driving on the Chevy Silverado 2500, 3500, and the same for the GMC 2500, 3500. Model years 20 to 24. That's being recalled. Lots of Acuras. MDX, RDX, TLX, Accord Hybrid, Civic Type R, CRV, airbag may deploy unintentionally during a car crash. It also involves the CRV Hybrid, the Fit, the HRV, the Insight, Odyssey, Passport, Pilot, Ridgeline, all of that being recalled. And please, if you're part of that, please get your car in, because people can die because of these things, and they have. Don't be one of those. And all you have to do is go to safercar.gov, put in your VIN number, which you can find on your insurance card, and it'll tell you, yes, your car is being recalled, or no, it's not being recalled. Loss of drive power from a faulty drive shaft on the Genesis GV60, the Hyundai Ioniq, and the Ioniq 6 for the model year 2023. Mercedes-Benz headlights are aimed incorrectly. Does anybody really care about that? I guess so. Somebody does. 2019 to 2022 model years GLC and the AMG GLC, basically all of the GLC models. And the Nissan Leaf, the rear view camera image may not display from 2018 to 2022.
It's all electric.
Engine valve springs may break from Kia, the Kia Telluride for 2024.
Wow.
And if that happens, you're toast, buddy.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, that's not good. So you'll need to get your valve springs.
Does it say what
I
size
gotta
engine?
take my car and get my valve springs.
Does it say what size engine, or is it just all of them?
It doesn't say, and it could be.
Because they come in a variety.
Well, maybe. It doesn't say which engine.
Gotcha.
But if it doesn't say, chances are that all of the Tellurides have the same engine.
Bring it on in.
Bring it on in. Or, like I said, check safercar.gov.
That's right.
And it will tell you.
For many things.
Yes. Anything and everything. Even if you've got a sore toe, dial in.
Or if you've got trail rash.
Trail rash.
Trail rash.
That's a new thing.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
She
she
said
said
trail
trail
rash.
rash. That was our Jeep.
That stuck with me.
I don't know.
It's like an earworm.
Our wheelers.
Wheelers.
I've never heard that term before, but as old as I am, I don't know everything,
some of the Jeep
and I'm
clubs-
reminded of that quite frequently.
Some of the Jeep clubs that we used to talk to, kind of COVID, they kind of dispersed during COVID. So we've kind of just now getting back into talking with the Jeep clubs again.
Yeah,
I wonder if
exactly.
they're involved in the Jeep thing down on the coast, Galveston.
We don't
Probably
talk about
not.
that.
Yeah, okay.
You talking about Jeep Go Topless
Yeah,
weekend?
that's
What county is that? Is
Galveston.
that Chambers?
Galveston
Galveston
County.
County?
Yeah.
If I were Galveston County, I'd ban that thing.
yeah. I think they're going to.
They
did.
can't. Literally, they can't.
Well, it's a public beach.
Well, not only that, it's not an organized event. It's like one
Show
of
up
like a
and-
rave.
and- yeah.
and that's the reason most of the Jeepers, since we're there, they've moved on down the coast
Towards
away
you.
from Galveston County because of all the side by sides, the trucks, and all the
Riffraff.
it's a good word for it. That's now coming down there for the big party, and it's really turned into a bad thing for the Jeep name. So they've moved.
Gotcha.
There's still some there, but most of them have moved.
Yeah, they need to fix that. Okay. Time now for a quick break. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. Our address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We're back after a quick break. Stay with us.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla Restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invite you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Beaming around the globe from the
Beaming.
Sugar Shack Studios outside Houston, Texas, USA, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead from the Piston Foundation, CEO Jeff Mason. Plus, we'll have an in-depth review of the 2024 Toyota Tundra Capstone Edition. That's the top of the heap of the Toyota truck line.
Cool.
Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. And we are also welcoming into the show the CEO of the Piston Foundation, and his name is Jeff Mason. Jeff, good morning to you.
Good morning, fellas. How are you?
Well, we're doing great. Thanks for joining us this morning. Did we get you out of bed to do this?
It is a little early in my time zone.
Yeah. What time zone are you located in?
I am in Mountain Time. I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, not bad.
I know somebody
So
that lives there.
It's like 8 o'clock.
It's an
it is
hour.
exactly
Yeah.
8:01.
8:01.
Well,
All
Jeff, we're just getting in from last night, so
Yeah. So there you go. As you can well imagine.
I love the talk of the cars and coffees that are happening around the country because here it's a little too cold for that
Yeah.
stuff.
Is it snowing up there?
It did last night, so we are living in a beautiful white landscape.
I got you. Well, my daughter lives there, and I talked to her a couple of days ago, and she loves living in Denver. And hey, more power to her. She's got a great job.
It looks good from
Great.
here.
Yeah. It looks great from here. There's no doubt about that. So, Jeff, tell us what the Piston Foundation is.
So, Piston Foundation is a public charity that focuses on helping young people start careers as classic car technicians.
That's unique. Is there anybody else that does that sort of thing?
Well, there's a few organizations that focus on sort of the technician side of workforce development, like TechForce.
Yep.
Although we focus specifically on classic cars, classic car restoration. We look at that skill set that exists inside that industry and the craftspeople that we all know who have taken care of our classic cars. And, we know that workforce is graying. We know that there hasn't been a lot of youth coming in.
I resemble that remark.
Yeah. I'm getting close myself. And so there's a couple of issues that are the source of that problem, and we're working to solve those.
What are those issues?
Well, it's a couple of things, and mostly it's about access and awareness. So young kids, teens who may be really into cars, when they look forward and think, is this an interest I could turn into a career? They really don't see a path there. And so that prevents a lot of young people thinking about that as a career path. The next piece is education. Technical education is expensive, so our scholarships are focused on addressing that issue. And then that next jump to hands-on training, getting a job as a starting technician, that's very difficult still. And technicians without education, with education but without experience, have a hard time landing that job. So our apprenticeship program is focused on solving that issue.
Well, Jeff, I think that part of the problem also is the fact that, these kids, their parents, the dads, the wives, the mothers, all of them, my oldest daughter turns 40 this year. Okay, well, I exposed her to my hobby, cars, but she doesn't know anything about restoring cars. And it's a unique field, and there's not a garage on every corner like a repair shop. I mean, a restoration can take years to perform and a lot of money. So where do you find a shop to actually get these kids in, get them trained, so now they could go out and open their own shop or really take over the shop that somebody older like you and I have? So there's a complicated bunch of factors going on there.
There is, and it's also, when we look at classic cars, there's service and maintenance of these cars, what keeps them on the road on a daily basis. So we're not always talking about frame-off restoration type of work. I mean, it's everything around that, and including a lot of vintage racing, because vintage racing is coming out of those same shops. And there's about 3,000 shops across the U.S. that sort of operate in that classic car world, and then there's custom shops. There's also, small manufacturers, people like Singer, who are all tapping into that same craft skill set of machining, metalwork, paint and body, interior, mechanics, engine building, and that's the body of skills that is at risk of being lost. And there's a lot of young people that are interested in those things, and we're trying to give them a path to get into it.
So, because back in my day, I didn't have that. And had I had that, I went to work for a Chevrolet dealership. Well, we're talking about...
Wash the cars.
Yeah, we all did that.
Yeah.
Buff the paint off.
But we're talking about a level that's obviously and clearly a level above that, and can be very different.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it doesn't, everybody starts somewhere, just like starting at the dealership, right? Yep. But what's happening right now is young people with an interest can't find their way down that path to build a career. And so we're trying to connect the dots with our scholarship and apprenticeship program to make sure that path is there for them.
Jeff, how did you get involved in this?
I am a vintage rally racer myself, and so kind of a long-time car guy. And, being in rally, you clearly understand the value of your technician when you're putting yourself at risk on a rally course. And so through that those relationships, I got connected with Robert Minnick, who founded the Piston Foundation, and I am also a tech school graduate myself, so felt a lot of affinity for these young people who want to take this path. And so it's kind of a mashup of my interest in technical education, my interest in cars, and my business experience as an entrepreneur. So I felt like I could get this project off the ground and change some lives.
Jeff, my question to you, the relation to the NASCAR experience, that's a big heavyweight name that you got there in the title. How does that relate to it? And you've got an auction coming up?
Sure, and that comes out of some friends in the vintage racing world. And we made a connection with the broadcast team at Fox Sports, their NASCAR broadcast team, and worked with them to sort of pull that together. And it's a very unique experience that gives the winner a chance to not only be at a race weekend, but also meet the broadcast team, Mike Joy, Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, get tours of the garages, get to see the Fox TV compound, all of the broadcasting compound that they use to actually, broadcast a Fox TV
actual race,
NASCAR race.
Well, and after you give that away, you could also have another giveaway with the In Wheel Time car talk show. I mean, who wouldn't want to be on this car talk show?
I think that's a great idea. Let's
and you mentioned three key people. You got the Kevin Harvick, you got your Clint Boyer, and Mike Joy. I watched some of their broadcasts leading up to Daytona for tomorrow, and I think that's a good trio for that program, for announcing. I think that's going to be a wonderful asset this year going into that. So kudos to NASCAR and kudos to Fox Sports for that as well. So how does the charity work? How does Mike go buy a car?
You're talking about the auction? How does the auction work?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's up on Bring a Trailer. Bring a Trailer is a partner of the Piston Foundation, and they support us with their platform and charity auctions on their platform. And so it is live on Bring a Trailer right now. You can jump up there and bid on this experience. The auction ends at 10:30 Pacific on Monday morning.
And what are you auctioning?
So it is tickets for up to 4 people for this NASCAR race weekend experience that includes qualifying, the Sunday race, as well as pit passes and a tour of the Fox TV compound, introduction to the pit reporters, a chance to see how they do all the in-car camera work that Fox Sports does, as well as a chance to meet Clint and Kevin and Mike Joy in the broadcast booth during qualifying on Saturday.
How exciting!
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. What a great experience for especially a race fan. And now all the money that is being bid, I assume, is going to go to the foundation and scholarships and money well spent, I'll say.
Yeah, all the money from the sale will go directly into our scholarship and apprenticeship programs. So that will then show up in young people who are able to afford a tech school education, or a young apprentice that gets a start being placed in a shop. So that money comes back into the community, and that's really the power of the Piston Foundation. We're looking to use the giving power of the car community, because we're all very, very generous people, and create a way to bring some of that giving back into the car community to serve the grassroots needs that we see need to be met.
Are you still racing?
I am.
What
Cool.
what do you race?
So our primary race that my brother and I do is the Carrera Panamericana in Mexico.
Yeah.
And there we race 65 Volvo Amazon 122S. That is that's a real specific, Carrera prepped car. We've raced that 3 times and had some good success there.
And do you wrench on the car yourself?
We do a bit, but most of it at that level is done by a shop up in Stratford, Connecticut called Vintage Racing Services. On the road, we take care of some things, but we do have a crew that supports us.
Yeah. Well, next time you're trailering through Houston, Texas on your way to Mexico, pick me up and I'll hitch your ride.
Are you sure you want to do that?
I don't know. Yeah.
He knows where all the cantinas are.
Yeah. Maybe you could join us this summer. This summer we're racing the Mille Miglia in Italy.
Oh.
Okay.
And
So I guess all I need is a ticket on an airplane. There's
I
a
think
song
so.
in that,
I think there is, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But that'll be a very different car. That one is we'll race a 39 Fiat 508C called a Balilla.
Oh.
And so that'll be a new experience for us as rally racers.
Now, how did you get into this antique racing
vintage,
stuff?
yeah, vintage.
Antique, whatever you want to call it. Because, listen, there are some cars that I have seen on the track. I'm going, oh, my gosh, don't anybody hit that car.
Yeah. Or is it going fast enough?
Yeah, is it going fast enough? There's another thing.
Yeah. It's a niche for sure, but we love it. My brother called me one day years ago and said, "Hey, I've got this idea to race this race down in Mexico. Would you be my co-driver?" And I looked at it for a moment. I said, "Yeah, sure. It looks like a great adventure. Let's do it." And that was the start, and we've been at it ever since.
How many years ago was that?
That was 5 years ago,
Oh.
and we've raced the Carrera 3 times. We've done some other regularity rallies, and that's how we got ourselves to the Mille this coming year.
So are you taking a car to Italy? Or there's a car
That
over
one,
there?
no, that one we're going to rent. This is the first time we've raced the Milles, so we're going to rent that car from a great outfit up in Brescia and race it, see how we like it, see how we do, and then
Man.
What? But wait a minute. Wait. Time out. What?
I'm going there, too.
What if you
I
wreck
want to be
the
on the
car?
pit crew.
Yep, that's a good question.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
You don't get your deposit back. How's that?
We have a mantra in our race team, which is keep it on the road and don't get lost.
Yeah.
So if we live by our ethos, we will be.
So what's it cost to rent a car like that? I mean,
It's not inexpensive, although for a once in a lifetime opportunity to race the Mille Miglia, it's pretty reasonable. I mean, all racing is expensive. Everybody will tell you that.
Sure.
So
yes, we know that.
But it's pretty affordable. We raced in November at a USA Mille Miglia warm-up. It is run by the same organization, and we were lucky enough to win our class there, and that gave us a guaranteed entry into the Italian Mille. And that was our door in. I don't think we could have gotten there any other way.
But
So just real quick. So if Don decides he wants to go over there, does he have to have a special license, special qualification, or can he just go over there and rent the car?
Deep pockets, Mike.
Besides deep pockets.
Yeah. It's really driven by the car. The Mille only accepts certain years of car. It's 23 to 59, and so it's got to be a specific car in a specific year. And you make your entry, and they either accept you or they don't. So you might have the right car in the right year, but they may not accept you. So it's
it's not necessarily a special. You got to have license, experiences, and all that stuff.
No.
If you're silly enough to get in there and you got the money, they'll accept you. You're after it, right?
Exactly.
He never did say how much. Is it above 10 grand or below 10 grand to rent one of these?
Above.
Ah, okay.
Well above.
Okay.
Well above.
I was trying to put him on a spot.
I know. I don't know specifically, but I have a good idea, and so I'll speak on your behalf. You're way too low.
Yeah, but it's a once in a lifetime thing.
That's
like
it.
That's what he said.
It is a once in a lifetime thing.
And it's one of those kind of things that you don't want to tell the missus. Honey, I'm going to go to Europe. I got a business trip.
And you're
over there
staying
for a
home.
few days.
I got to go for a race. That's all you got to.
That's
Don't have
right.
to say where.
You're gonna be meatballs and spaghetti, and it's
not
gonna
the
be
fact
great.
that you're going to participate in the race.
Lots of pizza.
Yeah, I'm going to wrench on a couple of cars. Well, okay. What does that entail? Well, not much, but
I'll be back. Don't
Between
worry.
the wrenching, I'm racing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, I mean, is there any difference really? All right, so tell me so the auction is underway now, and it closes on Monday.
Closes on Monday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so
We had it up on our screen for a few minutes so people could see it
Yep.
and get an idea of what they're looking at when they go there.
And I guess you could. All you had to do is go online to bringatrailer.com, and I'm sure that there's a link on there
Yes.
to get you where you need to go.
It's under
Yep,
charity
look in
auction.
their charity auctions section. And one of the great things about our partnership with Bring a Trailer is not only does the proceeds of the auction itself go to our scholarship fund, but also Bring a Trailer donates the buyer's fee from the auction to the Piston Foundation for our scholarship and apprenticeship program. So Bring a Trailer really is a great partner supporting the car community.
Well, I have to tell you that it is a real pleasure to talk to you, sir, and we wish you the best of luck, and I hope that you'll stay in touch with us. If nothing else, we get you out of bed on a Saturday morning, and we can rib you and tease you and poke at you and
Sure.
get some great information.
Get out there and shovel the
Maybe
snow.
we can package that up and auction it so somebody else can enjoy the
There you
teasing.
go.
There you go.
And next time you're in Houston, look us up, will you?
Definitely. Thanks, fellas.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Jeff Mason, CEO of the Piston Foundation.
Very cool.
I want to
Fun.
remind everybody that the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In-Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV. But we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Hey, thanks for joining us on this Saturday where our live broadcast is blasted around the globe.
Happening.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. And I did want to remind everybody that the 28th annual Keels and Wheels Car and In the Water Boat Show returns to the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, May 4th and 5th this year, featuring 60 cars of the Ford Mustang and Donzi boats and a special display of resto mods. Learn more at keels-wheels.com. Also, next weekend, we are going to be broadcasting live from the Hemi Hideout at a special time.
Yes.
We're going to forego the 8 o'clock start time and push it back to 10. When the doors open at 10:30, we'll be there with all the people, and we get some more interviews and that sort of thing. So, and if you're interested in coming on out to join us, along with all the Corvette people, go to hemihideout.com and learn more about the event for next weekend. All right, time now for the events calendar. Is it the events or cruise in? What
Events.
do you do? Events it is. All right.
Speaking of next weekend, February 23 through 25 is the Lone Star Throwdown up in Conroe at the fairgrounds up there. Big event. It is sold out for entries, cars, and trucks that are going to be there, as well as vendors. So it's going to be it's always a big event. Go to LoneStarThrowdown.com for more information. Also, February the 24th, and I like the name, 2024 Cardi Gras. Cardi Gras? Cardi Gras?
Yeah.
Cardi Gras.
Cardi Gras.
Yeah, I guess you pronounce it Illinois too, don't you?
Could be 1721 Spring Green
know he does.
Boulevard at the Social Bar and Grill in Katy, Texas. March 16th, looking a little further out. Corvette Chevy Expo down at Galveston Island Convention Center. Go to CorvetteChevyExpo.com for more information on that. April 25 through 28, the big one we're looking forward to, really big here. Hot Rod Tour of Texas kicks off with live music in Victoria. 3 days of cruising across Texas. There is a 350-car limit. They have a few tickets that are still available to register your car if you want to join. Big parade. Leaves Friday morning. Leaves Victoria, goes all the way across to New Braunfels for the night at drive-in. Saturday, end up in Fredericksburg for the night. And then Sunday, there is even more to come.
Nice job, Quibido.
I think it's Thibodeau, isn't it?
Thibodeau or Quibido, depends on which one. They're cousins.
It's Illinois.
There's too much noise in here.
Remind me to tell you my best Thibodeau
I can
joke.
only imagine what that
Off
would
the
be.
air.
All right. Let's move on, shall we? And talk about a review of the 2024 Toyota Tundra Capstone.
Now, I will say that I've seen a couple of these out in the wild before I actually got one and got the opportunity to drive it. And I was really impressed with some of the styling changes. So this is the 2024 Toyota Tundra Capstone Crew Max four-wheel drive. They did a big redo in 2022, and they've been styling it out since then. It is available in 2 cab styles, 2 engines, got 3 different bed lengths. So you can kind of mix and match things, but there's actually 7 trim levels, starting with the base SR, then it goes to the SR5, a Limited, Platinum, the 1794, and then you got the TRD Pro, which is the big off-road, and then you get to the Capstone, which is the top-of-the-line premium model, which is what we happen to have for our review. Now, it's got a lot of things on the outside of it, including LED lighting that's all the way around, including fog lights. It's got the automatic leveling headlights, and it's got tow mirrors that actually extend out from the sides and fold that are heated. It's got a panoramic sunroof, and it's really a big sunroof on the inside of that cab. Got power running boards, and it's got a bed step that's on the back so you can get up into the bed. My wife really appreciated these power running boards because they were a pretty good height for her, and they came out quick. They didn't diddle around trying to get there. We were rolling on some 22-inch dark chrome alloy wheels, which really stood out well on the white paint that we were riding in. It's got, on the inside of it, it's got the aniline leather seating surfaces. Now, the front seats are heated and ventilated, as well as the rear seats on the outboard positions. It's got a 14-inch Toyota multimedia screen in it, and that's where you're going to find your CarPlay, your Android, all of your navigation, your convenience controls. It's all going to be right in there. Now, for the driver, there is a 12.3-inch digital gauge package, and it's got a big 10-inch heads-up display right there on the glass. So it's really big, really easy to see, particularly at night. It was really nice running down the road. Now, if you want to really have some sound in this thing, it's got a JBL 12-speaker audio system with a subwoofer on it. And it really sounds well in this vehicle because it's got a lot of the sound deadening glass and stuff on it. It's got a big glass space. You got plenty of windshield, the big glass on the back of it. So there's not a lot of road noise, so that audio system really stands out. Now, to make all this stuff work, up front, you got a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 hybrid under the hood. So this equates out to 437 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque. And it's got a nice sound to it. I thought, first time I cranked it, I thought it had a V8 in it. So it's got a really cool sound to it. It's got plenty of torque. It's a 10-speed automatic with this thing. Now, the one we had was rated to tow 11,200 pounds. You can do a couple of mods, get it up to 12,000. Haul rating of 1,940. So plenty of stuff to put in the bed. Now, the EPA says that in the city you should get 19, the highway 22, combined 20. It's always been kind of the shortfall of the Tundra. The fuel economy has always been a little weak.
Yeah, like 13.
Yeah. So I drove 228 miles in this vehicle, and I got 16.0 on the average across it, which is better than I got in the past. But still, yeah, but you don't really buy vehicles like this if you're looking for gas mileage. You're going to buy something else to begin with. Toyota says 0 to 60 in 6.6 seconds. It's got two different drive modes. You can get the tow mode, the haul mode. And I will say, I thought it had great highway dynamics. The ride was nice and smooth. It was firm without being wishy-washy. There was not a lot of road noise. It handled nice. And again, the V6 engine really had a nice sound to it. I was really impressed with it. And the big glass, the big windshield, the glass on the side, it just had a nice big view to where you could see everything. It was really a pleasure to drive the vehicle. Now, I will say, pricing-wise, that Crew Max that we were in, the base model price starts at $42,015. Now, the base trim price that we were at, again, 7 levels up, starts at $78,845.
The capstone.
The capstone, top of the line. As tested,
here we go.
$82,423, which was a little. It was actually less than I expected it to be.
I was waiting for you to say 100,000.
Yes, exactly. Now, if you look across at the Ford F-150, the base on it for the big crew cab is $43,515. The Silverado, $42,500, and the Ram 1500's at $42,170. So they're all on the base level, all in that $42,000 range for the standard half-ton 4-door pickup truck, and then you kind of go up from there with whatever you want. All of them have plenty of stuff to put in it to where you can push it up in that $80,000 or $90,000 range and get whatever you want. But I do like the restyling they've done on this truck.
It looks nice.
We've always liked to drive the Tundra. It was just the fuel economy and some of the styling keys on it, but they've really made some changes in it.
You know, Jason's got a Tundra. I don't know what year his is, but he likes his.
Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. And be sure to follow us on Facebook. Back in just a couple of mementos.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
From the world-famous Sugar Shack Studios outside Houston, Texas, this is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Our favorite West Coast wordsmith and automotive detective, Jack Nerad's just standing by, and we're going to get to him in just a minute. We'll get you caught up on the stories making automotive news headlines this week as well. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, and Jeff, we need more Jeff Seekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong, so glad you could join us on this Saturday for our live broadcast. And just get right to it, because I want to talk to this guy. It's Jack Nerad, ladies and gentlemen, a regular on our show, and we're very, very proud and happy that he joins us. I don't know why. I think he feels sorry for us. That's why.
I think so too.
Quite the contrary. It's always a blast to talk to you.
Well,
guys.
and it is to you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Jack. We appreciate that, and we appreciate you. And there's so many things I want to talk to you about, because this week, it seems as though the American auto manufacturers in particular are going, EVs. Well, can we rethink that for just a minute?
Just a bit.
Because it seems, and although Mary Barra is not really forthcoming, I think that she too has hinted to the fact that I think that we need to rethink the all in on the electric thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're looking at the handwriting on the wall. They're looking at what consumers are doing. We've seen the momentum, if there was momentum for EVs, slow down. It's a tough time, and it's especially tough for General Motors, but all the car companies. I was just talking to the folks at Stellantis this past week, and they're about to launch a bunch of new electric vehicles. I mean, I'd be scratching my head right then and wondering, is this the time I want to launch, new electric vehicles? It's just tough. It's tough out there. And when you look at what's going on in the marketplace, people are just realizing that a lot of times an electric vehicle doesn't really match up with what they want. So why pay more for something that doesn't have the utility that your tried and true vehicle has? Well,
but yeah, you're exactly right. And to add on to that, electric vehicles aren't cheap. And
right.
and to saddle yourself with, a $70,000 electric car, and that's just right on the kind of like the mid-level there, you're going to go, do I really want to saddle myself with this? We don't have totally the infrastructure to support an electric car. And I think that a lot of electric car owners are beginning to realize that it's not as easy as it sounds to try to find a charger when you need a charger.
And the carrot also was the tax incentives.
Yeah.
That's gone away, or somewhat.
Well, to some extent, it's gone away, and it's changed, certainly. And a lot of people now have to lease. You have to lease an import vehicle, basically, to get the benefit of the tax credit. And not everybody wants to lease. It's not necessarily the best financial decision overall to lease a vehicle. So,
well, Jack,
there's a lot of things standing in the way.
Yeah, exactly.
As you mentioned.
Well, the other thing is, too, and you mentioned Stellantis. I heard a rumor, and it was just a rumor, that they may be looking at selling and joining forces with Renault.
That is a hot rumor, and we've reported that on the our radio show as well. I mean, and who knows? I mean, the French government owns pieces of both of those companies, so it's not as simple as it would be to avoid something like that. I think the Stellantis people are not necessarily enthusiastic about joining with Renault. Maybe some are, maybe some aren't.
What would be the advantage of that merger, if you want to call it that, or buy?
Well, I think we've always had overproduction in the car industry. I guess we didn't have it during COVID, but largely there are too many car companies, too many brands, chasing too few customers. And so if you could consolidate, you can get some economies of scale by doing that and eliminate some brands. Where it's scary for Stellantis is, what do you do with the Chrysler brand? What's going to happen with the Dodge brand that is really in transition right now? Would those just go away? I mean, Jeep and Ram, very high volume, profitable entities. But the others, I don't know. I don't know if they could survive such a thing.
There's not much
kind
left
of surprising
Chrysler.
They survived up till now.
Well, let me ask you this. So why would a major car company called Dodge dump all that they have worked on for over a decade with this performance thing and be very successful with the SRT and not only the Charger, but the Challenger as well, both of those cars, 1,000 horsepower. They sell every one that they make. Why would you completely get away from all of that, dump all of that, say, no, we're not going to do that anymore, and put all of your money in going into electrics or hybrids and stuff like that? You're just waving goodbye to all of that audience.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at what the landscape looked like 2 or 3 years ago, right? A lot of people were absolutely, and longer ago than that, 5 years ago. There was this gung-ho belief that we had to go and we were going to go all electric. It's not happening. I mean, it's not happening out in the wild there, right? It just doesn't happen.
But Jack,
and it's certainly not going to happen when you're looking at $2.79 gas in Texas. Gas is even down under $5 here in California. So there's just too many obstacles, I think, to a lot of people adopting electric vehicles. If you don't have a single family home, if you don't have your own home, and probably your own garage if you live anywhere where it gets cold, having an electric car is probably a disastrous idea. It's not just a bad idea or kind of here or there. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. It's just a bad idea at that point. If you can't charge at home, the public charging infrastructure is so bad that, and it's not getting better. We're adding more electric vehicles, but we're not adding operating fast chargers, which is what everybody wants at the same rate. I mean, a guy was telling me that his municipality, his local town, added a bunch of level 2 chargers and threw a bunch of level 2 chargers into the mix, which doesn't do very many people a lot of good these days when if you're going to charge a full electric on a level 2 charger, it's going to be sitting there for hours.
Yeah.
Well, that would be more like I'm going to go to work and I'm going to plug my car in and try to regain the loss of electricity from the battery that I got going from home to work that day. That's all it would do.
Yeah.
That's
and it's happened that, during this time, during this 5-year period, right, a lot of people are not going to work, not commuting to work like they used to. They're working from home. Where do you go where you sit someplace, or you're there for hours on end? And people aren't going to the movies at the rate they used to. Maybe that's 2 or 3 hours. Maybe you go to the shopping mall occasionally for 2 or 3 hours, but even 2 or 3 hours isn't going to get you a whole lot of gain if you're sitting on a level 2 charger.
Exactly. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is the fact that I think that going in, I think that most manufacturers knew going in that the best that they could do is 20% of all of their total sales on EVs. Why would you throw away cars that are attractive, that they sell, and they're gasoline motors, they get 30, 40 miles to the gallon on a hybrid, and you're going to throw all of that away and go all electric? Why would you do something like? I've never heard of this.
My sense is that, say, General Motors decided, okay, we're going to be the domestic EV leader. This is our plan going forward, and so we're going all in on that. Which, if it had worked, it would have been a great plan, right? I mean, you'd maybe be ahead of your competitors. Others, Toyota maybe specifically, but even Ford Motor Company, and to some extent, Stellantis 2 years ago or a year ago was being, pummeled because it didn't have electric vehicles. And what are you guys thinking about? You're going too slow into this. So then they kind of ramped that up, and it turns out to not be the best idea, but certainly in the short term and maybe in the long term, because I'm not sure how you guys feel. I don't necessarily see a long-term future where we're all electric. It doesn't make sense to me, given what electrics are versus what conventional vehicles are.
Well, I think that the perfect example of that would be the Ford Lightning that's sitting on lots everywhere. They keep lowering the price of them. Ford Motor Company has already said they're going to lose $5 to $5.5 billion in this changeover to electric. Why would you not put the brakes on that? And I guess that they have, because now they've said that they're going to develop a couple of hybrids in the meantime. Well, in the meantime, it takes 2 or 3 years to make a car.
You talk.
Yeah, at the very least. I mean, if you're developing an all-new platform, you're probably looking at more like 5 years or something like that. So you really have to anticipate what the market is going to want. And for, since 1920, it's been conventional gasoline-powered vehicles up until a decade ago.
But Jack,
and then we had a disruption, and people are disrupted by the disruption. There's no doubt about that, right?
But like you said, though, the whole idea of moving to EVs has never been consumer driven. I mean, we've talked about this here a lot of times. It's not consumers driving that. So all these companies, Ford, GM, whoever, they're going to it, but they're not looking at what the consumers are wanting or what the consumers are buying per se. There's something else driving it, and I'm not even going to get into that, but it's not consumers driving it.
Well, we know what that is.
Yeah.
It's the
but
government.
I mean, because it goes back to just like we were talking about Dodge. All this branding they did with the Dodge brothers, even if you don't particularly care for a 1,000 horsepower car, they had great commercials. People talked about the great commercials and how much fun they were, even if they'd never buy the car.
Yeah.
So it's not consumer driven is the problem.
And the other thing, we talked about the infrastructure so far as the charging stations. In my day job, I occasionally go to a construction site for new builds of buildings, hospitals, and things. And they are installing areas and segments of the parking lot in the building with chargers. We just had one recently here in the Sugar Land area that the building opened up, and they've got 5 EV chargers segregated on the side of the building. So that it's more of a individual company putting it in rather than the government.
Yeah, and hopefully they're putting in the right type of charger.
Right, that I don't know.
That has the right capacity and is going to match up with the technological requirements of vehicles, not just now but going forward. And a lot of various entities are installing, again, level 2 chargers, which are in a lot of ways kind of a thing of the past, not as a public charger, not very useful. Except maybe in a hotel or something like that, where you're staying overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had a new charger installed at the Hyundai dealership. So now I got one less than 20 miles away. And I went over there 3 times and sat in line to get to that particular charger. Finally went over there at 6 o'clock one morning when it was drizzling rain. And it was a Genesis. And it was at 10%, and I let it sit there and go all the way to 100%. It took me an hour and 38 minutes. I took my truck down to the gas station and put 26 gallons of gas in it in less than 5 minutes to go 500 miles. So I got twice the range out of my gasoline vehicle versus the hour and a half I spent there charging, reading a book in the rain.
Yeah, I mean, who has time to do that on a regular basis? I mean, I sure don't. But I see it all the time. I live in Southern California. I see these people sitting in their expensive Tesla vehicles at chargers. These are obviously professional people, probably making a lot of money per hour, right? When you think about it. And they're sitting there playing video games in their car or, making phone calls or stuff like that. I mean, I just don't see that as being very productive. It's up to others, though, to decide, I guess,
Mike,
what they want.
If you were reading a book, were you reading one of Jack's books?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
No, you've already read that.
I already read both of them.
We're waiting for the next one, Jack.
Yeah, well, I'm working on it.
Are you?
I'm close to having another crime novel.
Oh, good.
And it involves us.
Yeah,
It does, exactly.
we're the crime. So you mentioned gas out there at below $5. Wow, I'm bowled over.
Yeah, well, I was excited. I was in Austin, actually. I just flew back from Austin yesterday on a car event or truck event, actually, and noticed how low the prices of fuel were there in Texas. But it's come down a bit, I think, probably with election coming up, they're kind of quelling the rhetoric a little bit about fossil fuels. We haven't heard that kind of rhetoric that we heard 2 or 3 years ago that really sent the prices through the roof. But,
Yes.
of course, we've got problems in the Middle East, too. I mean, who knows what could happen with fuel prices there. So it's always volatile, but there's little doubt that fuel prices are a big factor in whether EVs are going to be adopted or not.
So, Jack, on a different note, let's talk about something that you got excited about that you've driven or got some sort of a reveal that you went to see or did. What's going on in your life?
I just went to the Chicago Auto Show a couple of weeks ago.
How was that
Chicago.
without Stellantis there?
Well, it was a little lonely.
Yeah.
A little lonely. I mean, I think it's so short-sighted of all these brands to pull out of auto shows. I think we all love the magic of cars. We love the magic of auto shows. We love the magic of, seeing the new stuff and getting to sit in it. I remember going to a Chicago Auto Show at the Chicago Amphitheater, now a building long gone, I think, way back. And just falling in love with everything about it. Just the concept cars, the new production cars that were on the floor there. It was just magic, right?
The chrome, the lights, the noise.
Yeah. And that's what car companies are really selling. They're selling romance. They're not selling transportation. If they were selling transportation, we'd all be driving Honda Civics, right?
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of checker cabs, but that's another story.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. So they have to have this romance, and they kind of understand it, I think, in the commercials they do.
Right.
But not putting these vehicles in front of people where they can see them in a no-pressure situation. I think you guys probably love auto shows as much as I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just think they're great. And sadly, this Chicago Auto Show still would have been exciting for a consumer. Didn't have a whole lot for the media. I think next year will probably be more, because what I did see too is the media still turns out. People in the news business go to auto shows. So if you have something newsworthy or even mildly newsworthy, it's a good place to get it reported.
Yep.
I think that's going to turn around a bit.
And you talked about the romance growing up as a kid. Detroit Auto Show, Cobo Hall. You'd go there. You would get all the paper brochures and the magazines. You take those homes and you read and study them about all those cars and the pretty colors, and that's how you get involved. That's the romance of it.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Have you driven anything fun and exciting lately?
Well, I just did a report on the Volvo V90 Cross Country.
That's a station wagon, isn't it?
It is a station wagon,
Yes.
exactly. And I think a lot of auto journalists, maybe not you guys so much, but I think many of us, there's something strange in the automotive journalist genome that we love station wagons and we love hatchback.
Yes.
I mean, we love a lot of vehicles that maybe the typical consumer doesn't love so much. Certainly station wagons.
To
used
that
be
end,
really
Jack,
fun.
if I may just interrupt and say to you, I drove just recently the Subaru Impreza. It's a wagon now, and it drove great. I fell in love with that thing. Will anybody else? I don't know, but I pumped it up as much as I could because I'm excited about it, and I'm not a station wagon
I
guy.
love driving this V90. It's got plenty of cargo space. I think it's got like 34 cubic feet of cargo space behind the second row seats. It's a nice 5-passenger vehicle, easy to get in and out of, but and low enough you're not climbing up into it. And then you're driving essentially a luxury sedan from the driver's seat.
Yep.
You're driving essentially an S90. A pretty competent luxury sedan with plenty of room. So I just really like that. There's nothing startlingly new about it, quite the contrary, but it's just pointed out to me, this is a pretty good configuration for a vehicle, and why not? Why don't we see more of these?
Well, let me tell you something. So I look at the collector car market all the time. Man, I'm telling you, the Buick Estate wagon, the Chevrolet wagons from the 80s,
Pontiacs,
they're back
the
with the
Bonnevilles.
great big, wooden side appliques on it, and they're hot, and they look, it's like, man, I remember that. I'll bet you that thing rides like a dreamboat. And they're selling them, and they're getting more and more and more money for them.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. I mean, we all have nostalgia for the cars that we want to buy, right? Those collector cars, a lot of it has to do with, boy, I remember that as a kid, or I really wanted to have that thing when I was 15. And now I've got some money, and I'll buy one. So it makes all the sense in the world. They're pretty cool.
It may not fit in the garage, but boy, it sure is cool going down the street. And when you see one going down there, you honk, you wave, you thumbs up, all of that sort of stuff. Who doesn't like that?
Yeah, absolutely true. And they're pretty useful, actually. I mean, they're not necessarily fuel efficient, but otherwise, haul a lot of people, as you mentioned.
Hey,
certainly very comfortable.
They got 3 rows. Now, the third row may be facing the opposite direction.
That's the beauty of it. Those are great.
Where you came from.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So anything to look forward to on your end in the next month or so?
Well, I'm going to do some traveling. I'm going to be driving the new Ford Ranger fairly soon.
I have to tell you, I liked that Ford Ranger last time I drove it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot to all of these new mid-size trucks, I mean, they're kind of the size of a full-size truck of 2 decades ago.
That's exactly right. Yes.
They're a very handy size. They are more capable than ever. A lot of
fit
different,
in the garage.
Absolutely. And that's something they're adamant about. The designers are adamant about because the consumers are adamant about that. And you can't do that with a full-size pickup truck these days. It's just too big.
I'm waiting for the compact truck to come back. And I don't know why they don't build them anymore. I still see those Ford Rangers from the 1980s on the streets today. They're usually, the pool guy or the pest control guy, that kind of stuff. And they're well maintained, and they're still driving them.
Yeah, very, very cool vehicles. I remember the rotary trucks that Mazda used to make in the 70s. I mean, those were really cool, too.
Yeah. Well, Jack, it's always great to talk to you, my friend. Get caught up. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you so much for getting up extra early for us today.
How about that?
I was up a little early. We have an old dog. I was trying to teach him some new tricks, and it just doesn't work.
That's what we do to the Don every Saturday morning.
Every Saturday morning. Jack Nerad, noted author and auto journalist, and got a great show. What's the radio show, Jack?
It is called America on the Road.
Yep. And where can we find that? Can we find it online?
Yes, absolutely. You look for America on the Road. I mean, there is. It's on all the major podcast outlets. So look for it.
So listen to our show and then follow it up with America on the Road, and you'll get everything you've ever wanted to know in the automobile industry.
Seems like a plan. I think that's a great plan, Don.
We love you, brother. Take care of yourself.
Thanks.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Jack Nerad. I got some stuff I got to get in.
Get it.
All right.
Get her
So
done.
we can either do Hemmings Sold Cars Roundup, or we can do some headlines. What would you like?
The Hemmings takes longer, so let's do the headlines.
Okay. Well,
and we don't have a scorecard ready.
Some of these aren't real headlines. They're more lengthy
dissertations.
Stories. Yeah, they are. That's too long. I don't want to do that just yet. We'll do that at
all right, do whatever you want.
I'm doing
you the man.
Some on-the-fly editing here. So we're going to put those two down there. Mm-hmm. Jack was talking about charging electric vehicles. Public electric vehicle chargers are becoming more reliable, but charger availability is worsening, according to J.D. Power data. The story from Automotive News, 18% of public charging attempts failed in the fourth quarter. That's a 3-point improvement from the previous 9 months, according to J.D. Power's latest charging satisfaction surveys. Are you satisfied with your charge?
Satisfaction. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Lack of charger availability or long wait times made up a growing percentage of problems. They represent 20% of failed charging attempts, up from 10% in the fourth quarter of 21. Lack of availability is really alarming as EV adoption outpaces charging installation growth. according to Brett Gruber, executive director of J.D. Power's EV practice. Much of J.D. Power's feedback on limited availability came specifically from failures with level 2 chargers.
There you go.
Which is a total waste of time, anyway. Shell Oil Company subsidiary shuttered almost all of its hydrogen fueling station network for light-duty vehicles in California, dealing a setback to an energy source that could reduce carbon emissions. Shell Hydrogen Vice President Andrew Beard cited supply complications and other external market factors as reasons for the closures of 7 stations in a letter to hydrogen customers. Yet, Shell's decision runs counter to burgeoning momentum for hydrogen, which includes $8 billion in federal spending designed to promote its use and ensure consistent demand.
Well, we did a segment on hydrogen, and recently it's been announced there's going to be a hydrogen plant in Katy, Texas, which isn't far from here. Don't know the development of it or when it's going to go online, but it's being considered and it's being worked on.
The closed Shell stations accounted for 7 of the 59 public hydrogen fueling stations in the United States, about 12%, according to Department of Energy data. Their closures may hinder broader efforts to make hydrogen fuel cells an alternative and complement to battery electric vehicles.
Wow.
Who would? Hey, let me show you my new Cadillac. It's hydrogen powered.
I'd say awesome.
Yeah. You drive out to Katy to get it refueled.
Well, that's true too. That's awesome too.
I got other things to do with
It's no different than the EV. Some of the EVs now, sometimes you just got to drive way out of your way.
20 miles. He said 20 miles for his.
I could walk to the Shell station right down the street. I could walk there
with a 5-gallon gas can.
Yep.
I understand. I agree.
And I could get that 5 gallons of gas in about 60 seconds.
Probably.
If you're paying with a credit card.
Just saying.
Yeah, I understand.
It's probably about $32 worth of gas. Roughly.
Yeah.
$2.80, something like that.
Yeah.
Last story. Mercedes-Benz made a bold bet on luxury in the wake of the pandemic. German luxury automaker vowed to maximize profit, focusing on its highest margin combustion engine and electric nameplates, but now not so much.
Not so much.
Auto industry is dogged in 2024 with high interest rates that are stinging even Mercedes' deep-pocketed customers and retailers. As a result, Mercedes will adjust its U.S. sales strategy this year, pivoting from what it calls its top-end vehicle segment to its lower-priced models. At a dealer meeting in Las Vegas last month, Mercedes said more affordable bread-and-butter models will drive sales in 2024. Surprise, surprise. Automaker will deliver 25 new and updated models to showrooms this year, including entry and mid-segment models, such as the redesigned E-Class, a new CLE Coupe and convertible, and a GLC plug-in hybrid crossover. Mercedes will also veer from its controversial EV push in the U.S. and turn up its supply of internal combustion engine and hybrid vehicles as demand for electric vehicles slows industry-wide. Ow.
Which one are we going to, 3 or 4?
I don't know. It's going to be
3.
It's going to be that one right there. Oh, we did, didn't we?
We missed 3. So let's go to
guess
4.
what? Yeah, we did. So let's do that. Let's do
talking with Jack.
Which one?
Let's do the first one first.
The 3.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to try to make things up here. Just stay with us. On the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, back after a quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV. But we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
This is the award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, champion drag racer Angelle Sampey with news about her trip into the 2024 season less than a week away. You'll hear my thoughts on a week driving the Mazda 3, and Jeff has what's on Automobile TV this week. Do you have that?
Yeah, I got a little bit.
Okay, very good. Just ahead on this episode of the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us today. Well, here she is, Angelle Sampey, and looks like the cat's out of the bag. Last time you talked to us, we were all waiting and hoping for great news, and I think that we kind of got it, and the weekend is now here upon us next weekend.
Yeah, it sure is. Can you guys hear me okay?
We hear you loud and clear. It's great, and it's good to see you, and thanks for joining us again today.
Great, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Speaking of no problem.
No problem.
No Problem Raceway.
Yep, that's right. That's where my first race will be. It's right here near home, about 45 minutes from my home. I'm so excited to be there. I haven't been to the racetrack I've been to the track as a fan probably about 5 years ago, but I haven't driven down that racetrack in many, many years. So I'm excited to be there. We have some local sponsors that are going to be amazing for us. The Range Kubota and Case dealership, which is only about 15 minutes from the racetrack. The owner is my neighbor, Billy Lawson. It was kind of a funny story I'm going to tell you. So when I built my house here, there was no homes on either side of me. There's a railroad track on my right, and there was an empty lot on my left, and I have 2 acres of land. So my house is right in the middle. It's an acre, 2 acres deep. And so I had lived here for several years with nobody here, I ride motorcycles. I have lots and lots of animals. And when I say lots, I had lots of animals at this time. I had a pig, a goat, rabbits, ducks, chickens. They were everywhere. And then all of a sudden, I saw that this house started coming up right next door. And I'm thinking, oh, gosh, who's going to move in there? It's going to be somebody who hates motorcycles or fast cars.
Chickens.
They're going to hate my animals. We're not going to get along. This is what I'm thinking. So Billy builds his home next door with his family, and he's thinking, oh, I wonder who lives in that house. I hope she likes motorcycles. I hope she likes animals, because come to find out, Billy is a hot rod guy. His sons rode motorcycles in the yard all day long, and his family owns the feed store that I buy all my stuff from for my animals. So we were a neighbor match made in heaven. Wow. And when he realized, that I race, he told me that it would be a dream of his one day to sponsor me. And it was kind of just like, fun talk. And then here we are. So Billy, with his Range, Kubota, and Case dealership in Donaldsonville, Louisiana, is my major sponsor for the No Problem Race Nitro on the Bayou. And I'm so excited about it.
Well, congratulations. Did you name your animals?
Of course I did. Pig was Hamlet.
Hamlet? Yep. I like that. And the chicken?
Yeah, our goat was named Chip, Chocolate Chip, because he had brown spots all over him. Yep. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page here.
Chicken's name is Omelet.
Omelet. That's it.
Yeah.
So tell everybody what you're driving.
I went from 2 wheels to 4, dropped the whole motorcycle deal, all because of Antron Brown, who I know you've spoken to recently.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened was I was trying to plan a way to make my exit from drag racing. And I wanted to have a couple of more races under my belt. That was all me. No team, no major sponsor, just me on a motorcycle having fun at a few races. And then I was going to walk away with my head held high. So I called Antron and I said, who should I rent a bike from? Which team should I do? I had considered owning my own motorcycle. We talked about buying my own Pro Stock motorcycle. So I was asking Antron for advice. And he told me, I don't think you should race a motorcycle anymore. I think you should drive a dragster. And I just laughed at him. I'm like, that will never happen. So I told him I'm never going to drive a dragster. I'm not a car girl. I want to race bikes. Well, lo and behold, about 5 months later, now he has been telling me this for at least 5 years. But he really started pushing me about 5 months before this conversation, or when this conversation happened, to just try it, Angel. So he's like, I want to help you. We're going to do this together. And one of the things he said is, why don't you want to do it? And I said, well, I'm scared. He said, scared of what? I said, I'm scared of how fast it goes. And he said, well, when's the last time you've ever seen someone fall off of a dragster? And he reminded me that I'm doing 200 miles an hour on 2 wheels with no protection. So a couple months go by, and we ended up leasing Jasmine Salinas's A-Fuel dragster. I got in that car, did some laps, got my license to compete, and here we are, only a half a year later, and I am teamed up with the Mahalik Brothers Racing Team, who I love. They are so amazing. I got to race with Tony Samsel as well, who I love. I found out that the people in A-Fuel dragster class are fun. They're amazing. They're friendly. Most of all, they're competitive. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful class. I was just felt like I was thrown into the car, and within no time I was racing, but we did really well. Started off the race year last year with the Mahalik brothers, ended it with Tony Samsel, but ultimately this year we're going to do a full season with the Mahalik brothers racing. We start here at No Problem Raceway, then we'll move on to the Gators, and we have a full schedule. I have that posted on my website, on my Facebook page. If I don't, I'll make sure I'll do that again. But we are going to do, I think, 10 national events, and we hope to do 3 or 4 regionals, and we're going to go for a championship, so we'll see what happens.
I've got going from the bikes into the car, is it easier to get the licensing, or do you kind of bypass some of the steps, or do you have to go A to Z to get that licensing?
I had to do it all. I had to do it as if I had never ridden or drove anything before. So, from the full physical to the moderate half passes, moderate passes, full passes, got to have someone sign off the license, which, of course, I had Antron Brown. I have to think about who else signed off on me. But I think Corey may have. But anyway, it was very nerve-wracking because I think the hardest part for me, I thought the hardest part was going to be confined in the cockpit and strapped down so tightly and covered in a oven mitt, because you're covered in an oven mitt from head to toe. But actually that became a comforting feeling for me. The hardest part for me was judging the car, you know, where it's at, staging it. Several times when I was learning and getting licensed, I went over the staging beam, and then they had to push me backwards, and that was so humiliating and embarrassing because I'm like, oh my gosh, I look like such a rookie. But I'm used to being on this short wheel, but a little bitty motorcycle where I can see the staging beam right in front of me. I know exactly where I'm at. You move the vehicle back and forth with your feet and your hands, and it's so easy to do. You need to make a correction. You do it, no one even knows you did it. But this car, if you don't get it lined up right the first time, then everybody's waiting on you. And that was what I was the most nervous about. But got that down packed. We're good now. And so I went from saying I'd never drive one, have no interest in it, to I wish I would have done this 10 years ago.
Wow.
And of course, Antron says, I told you so.
Yeah, of course he does.
Antron is a special human being. He helps a lot of people. He's got a big heart.
Yeah, and he's a good friend of this show, and we love to have him on just like we do you. So tell everybody, this is a 270-mile-an-hour car. So what powers it? What kind of motor? Is it 500 cubic inch?
Oh, you're asking the wrong person.
Well, I just kind of figured you'd know.
I should have had Corey and Kyle on the show with me. I have absolutely no idea anything about that car yet. I am learning very slowly because, first of all, I just wanted to learn how to drive it and what to do and what to expect, what to feel like. I had no idea. What does tire shake feel like? What does tire spin feel like? What if we drop a hole? I don't know what this is supposed to feel like. So that was where my main focus was at first. And now I'm starting to learn how it works. They're showing me things on the car, but very slowly. I mean, I literally, guys, I got in the car for the first time in August. And so as far as the mechanics of it, I didn't know a whole bunch about the motorcycles. I learned over the 26 years, I learned a lot about them. But I know nothing about cars. So only thing I know is that we use more nitromethane than Antron does. And the reason I don't go faster than him is because I don't have a blower. That's what I know.
So it's naturally aspirated. There you go. That's the difference between the cars. So it's the same wheelbase. Basically, it's the same car.
Yeah, yes. Actually, Tony's car that I drove in Vegas and Pomona is a Top Fuel dragster. It was Morgan Lucas's old car. So I got, some good experience of what an actual car that Top Fuel feels like. The Mihalik Brothers car is a purpose-built A-fuel dragster, so it's not far off. It's a little different. Very comfortable, beautiful car. I can't wait to get back in it. I just posted pictures on my Facebook page if you guys want to see it with all the new decals on it. But I think the only difference between the two cars is a little bit smaller. The cockpit was a little tighter. Felt a little different going down the racetrack. Tony's car, I compared it to, I said it was a Cadillac, just real smooth. I guess because it was built for 330 miles an hour. We're doing 270 in it. It just went down the track really smooth. Where Corey's car was Corey and Kyle's is a little different. Felt a little bit more. I think I don't know if this was a setup between the two, but I remember feeling more tug on the starting line in the Mihalik car that I did in Tony's. But I actually like that. That's my favorite part. When you turn the fuel to the high side, take your foot off the clutch, put it on the dead pedal, and then you have to bump in. The way that engine kicks in, because it's like it just settles down and starts to rumble real hard.
Yeah.
And that's when it wants to go. And you're holding it back with the brake. That's the most exciting part. I absolutely love it.
Because you're pumping in all of that fuel.
Yeah,
you're kind of choking it off. It hasn't got.
Yeah, it wants to go.
Yes.
And so my whole workout routine has changed. I used to do certain exercises for the motorcycle, lots of core, exercises because you really need that on a bike. Now I'm, really working out my right arm to hold the brake back. I'm working out my left leg to hold that clutch in, doing some toe raises to get that throttle pedal down. So it's crazy how it doesn't seem like a really athletic sport, but we all treat it as one, and we do the best we can to be the best person the best racer we can be in every way.
When is the last time you've been this excited?
Look, when I first did my interview about, telling everybody that this was happening, Allie, my publicist, I told her I feel like I've been reborn in drag racing, and that is exactly what it's like. It's like starting all over again. So if you go back to 1996, when they told me, okay, we're going to put you out at an NHRA drag race on a pro stock motorcycle, that's how I feel. Last year, I was so nervous and scared, just trying to get used to the car and learn how to drive it. This year, I'm so excited because I know what to do. I know what to expect. I know how it feels. I can't wait to get in it. I can't wait to. We didn't even know, we wanted to do 3 races last year, so we had to come up with the funding for it, but we didn't know if it was going to happen. This year, we know it's happening. I know I'm going to be out there for a whole season. I can't, there's not enough words to tell you how excited I am.
Well,
I'm supposed to be going away. I'm supposed to be finding my exit into drag racing, and here I am starting all over.
You got a glow about you is what it looks like.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm excited, guys. I really am. This is totally different for me. One of the things that makes this race so special that's coming up, which is why I'm so excited right now, is my mom and dad are going to be there, and my dad, and I hope he doesn't, I don't know how much I should say. My dad's, going to be dealing with some health issues coming up, and there's a good chance that he's not going to make it to many races this year. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that he will get through what he's got to go through, and he'll be able to come out to some races towards the end of the year, but we don't know that for sure. So he will get to be at the No Problem Raceway. My mother has not seen me race in 7 years.
Wow.
So this will be the first time she gets to come out to the racetrack and see me. My brother, my nephews, my father-in-law's coming, probably every single cousin and aunt and
Heck yeah.
And neighbor and the whole state of Louisiana.
I was going to say, the whole state of Louisiana is going to be there. Well, I've sometimes been called Karnak the Great, too.
No, he hasn't.
And so I'm thinking, this is kind of a warm-up to Top Fuel under the Antron Brown flag. Am I thinking the right way?
Oh, absolutely. Well, he scared the heck out of me the other day and told me that he and Brian Karate had a conversation about putting me in his car for testing sometime this year. So,
yay.
Already planning on when that's going to happen. They were discussing what they had to do to the car to get it ready for me to drive it. But, yep, that's the plan. The ultimate goal is for me to race a second car for Antron Brown Motorsports and be his teammate. So that's where we're headed. But, of course, I'm trying to not get myself too excited about that, because that's all going to depend on funding and, how this year goes and if I'm ready and can I do it. So there's a lot of ifs for that to happen, but that is definitely our goal.
Well, how about $1 million sponsorship to start off from the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show?
I was thinking the same thing.
Let's do it. Start testing immediately.
Absolutely. Well, we are so excited for you and happy for you. And just to let everybody know, Angela's a little tiny thing. You can't tell on TV. How tall are you? Are you 5 foot?
I thought I was 5'1". And then I went to the doctor recently, and for the first time, they made me take my shoes off to measure me.
Yeah.
And I was only 5 foot. I was like a little tiny bit over 5
I'd get a
foot.
second opinion.
Yeah, a second opinion.
The last time we talked to her, your daughter had dental surgery, I think, the last time.
Yeah, she's actually so excited right now because she's getting braces next month. I don't know what kids
I don't know what
either.
prompted me to remember that.
Yeah, she's had several things done lately, but she's getting her braces on next month, so we've been dealing with that also. And I have a 9-year-old who's fortunately very healthy right now. Nothing's going on bad with either one of them. They're hopefully both going to be out at the racetrack this weekend, which they haven't seen me race in a couple of years, so that's going to be exciting too.
Well, what's going on with the crawfish?
Yeah, so we got to have some crawfish. We've got to have some crawdads and some gumbo, and
There's crawfish right now. We're getting to be right in the middle of crawfish season. Hoping the prices come down soon. We haven't got any for home yet, but usually during crawfish season we have several crawfish boils. We're always looking for a reason to do it. So if you guys want to come on down to New Orleans, it'll give us a good reason to do it. My husband's one of the best boilers there is. His crawfish is my favorite.
So where can we follow you next weekend at No Problem Raceway? What's the easiest way for us to follow you?
So all my social media channels will be posting several things. My nephew is majoring in I don't know the exact name of it, but he does the hype videos for LSU. He's been hired to go to the Final Four basketball game, and he does a lot of coverage for that stuff.
Man.
So he's going to be at the racetrack doing a lot of footage for me, photos, videos, stuff like that. One of our PR girls will be there doing some, footage and putting it all on my social media pages. So you can catch little snippets and stuff here or there and how I'm doing. But I'm not sure if No Problem Raceway is going to have anything live, but they do have a website. I should know it right now, but if you just Google No Problem Raceway, it'll come up. And they also have social media channels. I'm sure the Range website or the Range social media pages will have some stuff going on. So you can catch up with it there. But if I can find out any way that someone can watch everything that's happening as it's happening, I'll definitely post that on my social media pages. At Angelle Sampey is where my Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram, everything is. I did want to mention really quickly, I do have some other wonderful sponsors. I don't want to forget anybody, but we have some coming back from last year. FVP, I'm so excited. They're going to be with us again. Hankstafers, I love those guys. They're going to be with us again. IGTG is going to be with us this year. Mission, of course, is back on board. Not as big as last year, but definitely with me. And I am still the Mission spokesperson for the Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge. So even if I'm not competing at a drag race this year, I'll still be there working with Mission and being the one at the end of the track, helping hoist the trophy with the winner of that event. So not only am I racing, I'm a spokesperson and a mom and a business owner. So I don't know how I'm going to handle this year, but I'm going to do my best to do it.
And you got a whole bunch of us that are so thrilled to go on this journey with you, and so happy for you. And we love you and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I forgot one. I don't want to forget it. ProTech, one of our local sponsors in Houma, Louisiana, is going to be with us as well. And of course, my business, Champion Aquatics. We do custom saltwater aquariums, and now we build swimming pools. I don't know if I told you guys.
Oh,
that.
wow.
No, I look good in a swimming pool made for fish.
No, you don't.
Love you, Angelle. Thank you so much again for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you guys for having me.
You bet.
I missed you, so.
We'll talk to you soon. All right, Angelle Sampey. Jeff has What's on TV.
I do. There's some things going on. We're talking about the Motor Trend TV channel. You've got new episodes of Wheeler Dealers. You've got Graveyard Cars has new episodes. Roadkill has some new ones on there. It's a good favorite. And, of course, one I like the best would be Full Custom Garage with Ian. Good show. One of the things I found out yesterday, I was looking for this. Kevin Hart's Muscle Car Crew is a show that comes on. It was on last year. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to debut the new season yesterday. I couldn't find it. I could not find it. So I'm thinking it is a subscription for now going to get back onto Motor Trend. And, of course, TV tonight or today is Xfinity Racing, and then tomorrow the Daytona 500, just to mention that again.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mm-hmm. Time now for this hour's car review. I had a chance to drive the 2024 Mazda 3. Yeah, they still make the Mazda 3. Especially Mazda. I mean, they're a major car manufacturer, Japanese, and they have tons of models. But they still make the Model 3. They make them in these trim levels: Base, Select Sport, Preferred, Carbon Edition, Carbon Turbo, and Premium Plus. I got to drive the Premium Plus sedan all-wheel drive. This is a compact car. That's what they call it. What's compact about it? I'm not sure. It does seat 5 passengers, including the driver. Exterior changes from last model year. Well, it's part of the 4th generation Mazda 3, and this particular one was introduced in 2019. They've had some, slight changes to the grille and the back end and the usual stuff that you would see on a 4th gen Mazda 3 that started off in 2019. Exterior features: swoopy, long hood, short deck with a laid-back windshield, very aerodynamic. Aerodynamic headlights wrap around the front fenders. Rear styling is Mazda-esque with recognizable lighting and dual exhaust. Silver or black wheels, depending on your trim level. What I liked about it, I liked the aero. I liked how fast it was, fast-looking, fastback styling. What could use improvement? Nothing. Sharp-looking highway sedan. Interior highlights include a sleek dash with infotainment screen atop the dash, not built in. You can see it there. Instrument cluster is not overcrowded with controls, easy to maneuver through. The HVAC is above the center console, basic stuff there. Infotainment controls are on the center console as well. Personally, I like touchscreens. That's my preference. Trunk room. It has a small trunk lid that limits the size of suitcases, but once it gets in there, there's room. So pack lots of small suitcases, I guess. What I liked about it, the quality of the interior is top-notch. What could use improvement? Well, as I mentioned, the infotainment screen doesn't have a touch screen function to it. It's controlled by that push knob. Too many pages to drill through to get where you want to be, and too difficult overall. That is my take on the infotainment screen. But I will say this, that there are other automakers that are similar, but we're talking about the Mazda 3 here. Engine, the optional 2.5-liter Turbo 4, 227 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Here's what I liked about it. That engine, not only is it peppy and torquey, 23 miles per gallon city is what it's rated, 32 on the highway for a combined of 27. I got 29 miles per gallon over 362.1 miles. What I liked, the instant power, and there's plenty of it. It's matched perfectly. I will say this, those Mazda engines rock it. What could use improvement? Nothing. Great gas mileage, a bonus there. Ride and handling. Sporty ride quality. I don't know how else to put it. It can turn quick into corners. You know, I think that they've taken the Mazda Miata, the MX-5, and kind of taken that knowledge over the years that they've made that car and brought it into this car. It's a fun little car. What could use improvement? It could be a little stiff for some, but it hits the marks for sportiness. So there's a compromise to play out there. And if you like a sporty little sedan, I think that this is a great one. Base trim price, $35,450. Prices tested, $37,210. Base model price, you can get in one, a stripper as we call them, $24,170. Now that competes well with the Honda Civic that starts at $25,050, the Kia Forte for $20,190, and the Hyundai Elantra starts at $20,950. Overall, I think it's a great car. I'm not a big fan of their infotainment operating system. I think that it could be better. Now, as far as the touchscreen is concerned, obviously that screen that's in this car is too far up on the dashboard. You have to really stretch to get up there. That's why they have that control knob down at the bottom. I think that it would be a good thing for them to think about changing that up. I'm not a big fan of these infotainment screens that sit on top of the dash. There is room if you redesign the thing, and maybe in the next generation they can build it into the dash, because it is part of the system, the dashboard.
Right. It's the driver, yeah.
So don't cheat it and make it an afterthought, because that's what it kind of looks like to me. But I did like it. Great motor, and I like the sportiness of its ride and handling. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Did I miss the spot again?
I'm guessing which one you're going to do. I don't know.
Okay, well let's do the Pro-Am, the start one.
Which one?
Okay, it's going to be
which one? Wait,
that would
tell me which one it is.
The Pro-Am.
I'm trying to stall you so he can get there.
I think he's there.
I'm there.
All right. We're going to take a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and I'm going to continue to lose my mind.
It's okay.
After this,
you're allowed. It's okay.
Okay.
Be a small loss.
It would be a very small loss.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV. But we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Oh, gosh. It ends so...
I distracted you.
You did. Yes, you did. It ends so abruptly. And
I'm going to blame it on George because I was talking
blame
about
it on
George.
Me. Hey, I want to remind everybody that the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show has an email address.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know what it is?
Yes.
It's info. Go ahead.
InWheelTime.com. You can get a hold of any of us at Jeff at InWheelTime.com, Mike at InWheelTime.com. If you're a subscriber, we'll, send you nice things at the end of the year. Mike will come to your house and cut your lawn, stuff like that.
Okay. All right. We're gonna
volunteered you.
We're going to take another break, and I'm going to try to get my act together. But it's too late for that, so here's the commercial.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invite you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Your favorite go-to spot. In-car podcasting and live streaming. This is the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we're going to do Hemmings Sold Cars Roundup. And I got a special treat for one of my cohorts on the show here. We'll also give you This Week in Auto History. And we got some headlines for you. That's coming up in this segment of the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad to join us on this Saturday. It's chilly. It's chilly here. Chilly, I say.
It'd be good to have some chili or maybe some stew today.
Yeah.
Chili.
How about some vegetable soup? I could.
You can have that anytime. That's good.
Are you sneering at me?
Yes.
What?
My wife's trying to turn me into a vegetarian, and I'm resisting it on all places. So
You don't have to go like right off the edge. You can work into it.
she's been working about 3 years now into
So
it.
what? Really?
It's her fault.
And why is she trying to get you into the vegetarian thing
Thinks it'll make me healthier.
and happier?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll, she's right. It will.
in turn, her too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she
I think
wouldn't have to
that's-
cook 2 meals, hers and yours.
Well, Kathy's adamant about that, cooking healthy and eating healthy. She made some white bean soup a couple of weeks ago. It was awesome.
Oh, stuff like that I'm cool with,
Did it have-
because
did
that's what it is.
Did it
Yes.
have bacon in it?
Ham. It had ham.
Ham in it.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Yeah. Becky makes hers with a little bit of kale in it and stuff. Stuff like that I'm good with. But when you sit down and you start saying,
Vegetable soup?
well,
What is it?
vegetable soup is okay. I'm okay with vegetable soup. It just, whenever you start saying, okay, well, you're going to have eggplant parmesan. Okay. Well, what's with it? Nothing. I mean, that's it.
Well, eggplant's good because you just prepare it in different ways. Yeah.
I know.
You could, instead of using spaghetti,
But
you can
apparent-
use
But
squash.
but A1 steak sauce does not work well on it, though. I'm just saying.
Okay, well, that's
Yeah,
the
with
end of that
some- with some
discussion.
ketchup on
he
that.
kind of quashed that, didn't he?
He squashed it.
So we were going to have a guest from Hemmings on this half hour. They backed out at the last minute, but we could still have Hemmings
We
on.
certainly can.
And we're going to do Hemmings Sold Cars Roundup. It's a thing that we get into. And we look at some of the cars that sold in the past week on Hemmings.com.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right on the front page of this week's Sold Car Roundup is a Jeffy.
Uh-oh.
It's a 1985 Cadillac Eldorado. All right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to show you a picture of it,
Is it
Jeffrey.
a B Ritz?
I can't show you the price of this. So there it is. Would you not buy that
I would buy it in a heartbeat.
in a heartbeat? It's it's beautiful Arctic white. It's got the fake wire wheel covers
the red
on
in-
it.
It's got red interior?
Let me get the story on the wire wheels. My winter wheels were steel in Michigan, and I would have a set of those wires, those Cadillac wires, on my Nova.
No, it has a dark blue interior.
Even better.
And I bought a Coupe de Ville with that same interior blue. It was beautiful. Love that car. Love
$28,000.
that car.
I'm going 28. Mike, I'm putting 28.
1985 Cadillac Eldorado commemorative edition.
That's what. Yep.
It has a 4.1 liter overhead valve V8. It's called Cotillion White with blue leather interior. It's in Fort Pierce, Florida. So you know it has no rust.
32. I'm going for 32.
So at the end of 85, Cadillac badged a number of Eldorados as commemorative editions, marking the final year for the 10th generation Eldorado and the 114-inch wheelbase version of the front-drive GM E-Body platform. The 85 Cadillac Eldorado commemorative edition, offered at no reserve, is one of those cars, one of 74,000 coupes built that year. This example, described as a one-owner purchased through an auction for resale, and is characterized by the seller as being in highly original condition, noting that the Eldo doesn't have any issues. The seller says the Eldo, which is apparently fully functional, is free of rust, as I said. I already told you the engine,
price is going
135
up.
horsepower, 200 pound-feet of torque. Now, let me turn the page here. Give me just a second.
He's got a whole book on it.
I do. I printed the whole thing out because I wanted to make sure that I gave you all of the information. The seller states that the vehicle will be sold on a clean Florida title in his name. An Experian AutoCheck report showing no collision damage will be provided. The 85 Eldo, offered at no reserve, is described as highly original one-owner car with no issues.
I could see a road trip to go drive it back.
Heck yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. And it's got that fake wood dash. It speaks.
He's excited.
Yeah, I am. It speaks to all of us. All right. So, what is your bid?
I bid 28.
And I went for 32.
Are you sitting down?
I am.
It sold for $4,700.
Jeez, you could, by the time you airfare and everything to go down there to get it and get back, less than 6,000, man.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a road trip, Jeff.
I know
would
it.
do it. And the problem here is that I get in it in Florida and want to tour Florida in it before I head it home.
Well, the problem I'm having is it's sold already. So
Well, it is.
Yeah.
But I guess the point that I'm trying to make, and that I make quite frequently when we do this, is there are some cars on these public auction sites. Now, granted, we haven't looked underneath it. We haven't had Michael Wooding check it.
Right.
But I will tell you that from my estimation, it doesn't say how many miles are on it. I would have to ask that.
it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah. No.
Fort Myers, Florida, probably smells like mothballs. It's great.
Yeah, Southwest has got an airfare sale going on for $100. We can fly down there, $300 for the three of us.
So there you go. You can take that home and peruse that.
I'm going to put it in
Show
my
that to
office at
Kathy.
home.
Show that to Kathy. Kathy,
Say, you got a birthday coming up.
what year is your SRX?
13.
Okay, here's a 14. What do you think a 2014 a white SRX would sell for?
10 grand.
10 grand? Well, you're wrong. 17,850.
Oh,
Now let's get into some of the other ones. I don't even think I highlighted any of these. No, I didn't. So
Pick a pair.
you want to do a square body?
sure.
Okay, this is a 1978 Chevrolet Cheyenne half-ton pickup truck. Looks like a half-ton. What do you think that would sell for? It's silver and maroon, and it looks super clean. It's a square body Chevrolet.
What year is it again?
1978.
78.
Now let me just start by saying to you that these square bodies are really hot,
They are.
and they ain't cheap.
I'm going 17.
Mars?
I was thinking about that 17, so I'll tell you what, I'll step it up to 22.
Okay. Well, you're both right in the ballpark. 18,795
Oh, okay.
is what it sold for. I'm going to bypass the Jaguar E-Type. You don't even want to know.
No.
But it sold for $201,000 along with a ticket to the crazy bin. Because that's where the buyer would have to go. This is kind of interesting. This is a Z06. This is a 2012 Chevy Corvette, $42,000.
2012.
It must not have any miles on it. That's the only thing that I
It's
can
rough.
think of. Why would you buy that for $42,000?
Bald tires.
Now, Jeff, a 1976
Okay.
Chevrolet Camaro, clean, blue, mid-tone blue. It looks like it's got rally wheels on it. Very clean, not modified. It looks original. What do you think a 1976 Camaro? It's not a Z28.
$4,500.
Really?
No, I was thinking more like 12.
10,500. So Mars won that one.
Yeah.
This could be, although price-wise, it's probably a kit car, but it's a 1967 Shelby Cobra. But it wouldn't be a kit car if it was a 67 because they didn't make the kit cars then. I think that this is an original, and I guess that it's got a small block in it. What would you guess that the price of the Shelby Cobra from 67?
$72,000.
You're thinking it's original.
Yeah,
thinking-
that's
On
I'm based
the
that price
premise
on.
that it's original, I'm going to say 110.
47,250.
It ain't original.
You don't think?
No, it'll be a kit car.
But it's 67.
Yeah, but you could buy a kit car of a 67. It's got the 67.
Is that the
model.
way that works?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not really too sure. This is a Katie car right here. My Katie has always had a hots for a 2007 Pontiac Solstice.
Oh.
So it would be kind of like a sidestep from the Ford that she's currently got. Because hers is a 2007. A Pontiac Solstice, which was that little thing with the four-cylinder engine in it.
Yep.
What do you think that sold for? It looks clean. Silver, black top, convertible top.
$6,000.
Mars?
5.
16,800. It's a little expensive.
Yeah.
But it must be in pristine condition if it's sold
Somebody
for
likes
that.
it.
Yeah. All the money.
Here's one that I would run the other way. A 1958 Jeep CJ6. Run, Forrest.
That's all you got?
Does it look okay? I mean,
Yeah. The top doesn't fit.
It's not all built and all that stuff.
No.
I'm going low. I'm going $6,000.
I'm going to go 16 grand.
Really? How about $8,000?
Okay.
So Jeff got that. Well, here's another one that's in the category of that Pontiac Solstice. This is the Saturn Sky,
Oh, yeah.
which is Pontiac's version of it. Same vehicle, okay? A 2008 Saturn Sky.
2008. I'm thinking $8,000.
Huh? Really? Mm-hmm. Well, Mars is away from the table,
Yeah,
but
he's-
I'll tell you this: it went for $19,425.
What?
I guess that the fact that they only made them for a few years,
And they're
and
looking at a collector's
not,
version.
Well, not necessarily, but I think that a clean, unwrecked version of the car would probably sell for that. It's under horsepowered, but that could be taken care of if you wanted to sink money into it. But why would you do that? Just run it. This is a Mars car all the way here. A 1940 Buick 51.
Oh,
Big Burke.
A big Buick, and I'm gonna give you a little preview.
Yeah,
of that. I'm gonna keep my finger over the price. Okay.
Oh, it's a two-door.
Oh yeah, it's a two-door, a 1940 Buick 51.
21,000.
Mars
18.
15,225.
Oh.
And I point that out because, to give you an idea of, it's not a collector car. This is a driver car that we keep in the garage and you take on the, hot rod tour of Texas.
Or cruise-ins, yeah.
Cruise-ins, Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And everybody would perk up and look at that, 1940. All right?
We're due for break.
Oh, we are, aren't we? Thank you for telling me. I want to finish this out. Now, my dad bought one just like this, except it doesn't look near as good. A 1955 Buick Special, a four-door sedan. I think his was a two-door, but it doesn't make any difference. It weighs about 10 tons. A 1955 Buick Special. What do you think something like that would sell for?
I'm just going to go a flat 25 grand.
25, Mr. Mars?
18.
17,850, Mars.
All right.
Yeah. So there you go. It's a collector car. It's a driver. It's not a hot rod, any of that.
Probably one you could bring it home and drive it.
Yeah, exactly, with no power steering.
There you go.
And mine is a 1952 GMC stake bed pickup truck. Painted in John Deere yellow and green.
$12,000.
Really?
Yeah, 7,500.
6,500. You could.
I paid extra for the paint.
That's true.
I wouldn't. You
Stakes.
could not
It comes
sell
with
me
stakes.
that. You couldn't give me that.
I'd drive it.
I'm good. Yeah,
I'd drive any of those.
I'd drive it right over to your house. Then.
There you go.
And park it in your garage.
We'll go for a ride in my caddy.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. And the In Wheel Time Car Talk show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available from your favorite podcast provider. In Wheel Time Car Talk show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Okay, that always takes me by surprise when it ends
okay.
like that. I've got to do something about that. I got to be better about that.
We'll all be better.
Got to fix it.
Got to be more better.
Hey, the 28th annual Keels and Wheels Car and In-Water Boat Show returns to the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook May 4th and 5th this year, featuring 60 years of the Ford Mustang and Donzi boats and a special display of resto mods. You can learn more at keels-wheels.com, and you can also buy discounted tickets there too. I know it's May 4th and 5th. It's a ways away, but do it now.
Well, get yourself
Gotta
waxing
make plans.
on that boat,
Got lots of
waxing
stuff
on that
going on.
car, get it all spiffied up.
Ford Motor Company CEO Jim Farley on Thursday said the shifting market for electric vehicles has made it tougher to predict the profitability of those models, but that the automaker needs to develop smaller EVs that can make money quickly. Ford in recent months has delayed billions of dollars in investments, cut production, walked back margin targets, and essentially recalibrated its EV strategy in the wake of slower than expected growth in consumer demand. Farley last week said the company is changing tack to develop a smaller, more affordable EV platform that can be profitable soon after launch. Apparently, unlike the Ford Lightning pickup truck.
Yeah.
A crowd vandalized and set fire to a Waymo self-driving car using a firework in San Francisco last Saturday. The Alphabet-owned company and authorities said, marking the most destructive attack so far on driverless vehicles in the United States. Now, where did you think that this took place?
San Francisco.
On Saturday night, a crowd surrounded a white crossover vehicle that was moving along a city street in the city's Chinatown district. Michael Vandy, a witness who posted videos of the incident, told Reuters that people were celebrating China's Lunar New Year by setting off fireworks. Person jumped onto the hood of the Waymo vehicle and broke its windshield. Another person also jumped on the hood 30 seconds later, and some in the crowd clapped in approval, according to Reuters and an ex-direct message. His video showed the vehicle engulfed in flames with a huge plume of black smoke. Waymo said someone threw a firework inside, which set the vehicle on fire. Fire department posted pictures on social media of the charred remains of the car and said a firework did start the blaze. San Francisco Police Department said it was investigating the cause of the fire and did not say whether arrests had been made. The electric car, a Jaguar I-Pace, is equipped with 29 cameras and other sensors, and they clearly didn't take that into consideration when they were doing all the damage to the darn thing. The incident was not the first time people have harassed self-driving cars, but its severity may illustrate growing public hostility toward a pedestrian dragging accident last year involving a vehicle operated by General Motors' Cruise unit. On previous occasions in San Francisco and Phoenix, groups have disrupted the operations of self-driving vehicles, blocking their path, trying to enter the vehicles, and jumping on their hoods. Videos then went viral, showed people putting orange traffic cones on top of the vehicles to obstruct their sensors and force them to stop abruptly. Waymo offers driverless ride-hailing services in Phoenix and is working to expand the service to Los Angeles and to Austin, Texas.
Yeehaw.
They took a Waymo out with a ladyfinger.
Did they?
I don't know, M80, whatever, bottle rocket.
I got you.
I like the ladyfinger idea.
The lady finger.
There you go.
No, I don't even want to comment on that anymore. Thank you. Let's do This Week in Auto History.
Okay.
Mr.
That's
Mars
a great
has that.
idea.
Yes, sir. This week in auto history, found a few things that are real interesting. This week, American Motors Corporation officially debuted the AMX at the Daytona International Speedway in 1968. Now, this was their new two-seat muscle car, and it hit the track doing 130 miles an hour.
I like
Very impressive at the time. And it was the only other American two-seater at the time was the Corvette. Now, the AMX was actually $1,000 cheaper, so it kind of appealed to sports car people and muscle car enthusiasts because the 1969 model, the top of the line, had a 340 horsepower, 390 cubic inch V8. So this was a very popular car. It got the younger buyers into the showrooms, but it really didn't take off. So AMC discontinued the AMX after 3 model years, and the final number, there was only 19,134 of these cars built. So if you see one out in the wild, consider it pretty rare. Also this week, the Chrysler PT Cruiser began production.
God.
This was in the year 2000 for the 2001 model year.
Did you ever drive one of those?
I had one as a company car.
Oh my God! What a tin
Saw
can
one with
that
a
thing.
rear engine Hemi in it that stood up on the back end.
No.
It was cool.
Okay.
So when this car first went on sale, though, the demand outpaced the supply. I mean, they could not make them fast enough, and it actually won the 2001 North American Car of the Year award.
Didn't win any awards from me.
So this car was inspired by old school hot rods and panel vans from the 30s and 40s, and it stood out as compared to the other cars. It led into a bunch of other cars came in, like the Plymouth Prowler, the Volkswagen Beetle, HHR. When this car stopped production in 2010 model year, there was over 1.3 million units sold, and you probably can't find 10 of them now on the road.
Couldn't.
Also this year in automotive history, at the Chicago Auto Show in 1989, the MX-5 was introduced. It's a lightweight sports car, two-seater. It had several different unique features, weighed 2,200 pounds with a standard 5-speed manual transmission. 115 horsepower, started at $14,000. By the time this particular first year moved into the second generation, they sold 228,961, and they are still selling Mazda Miatas out there.
Yes, they are. Hey, I want to remind you that the 28th annual Keels and Wheels Car and In the Water Boat Show returns to Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook May 4th and 5th. This year featuring 60 years of the Ford Mustang and Donzi boats and a special display of resto mods. And you can learn more about them at keels-wheels.com. All right, time now for a quick break. We're going to wrap up today's show right after this. Stay with us.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla Restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Well, that's it for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Here is your invitation to follow us on Facebook. Give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our stuff if you would. We'll keep you posted on all things automotive all week long, including award-winning interviews, new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing, and car, truck, and SUV goodies. When you need to hear some good car talk during the week, you can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 via the iHeartRadio app. We also live stream the show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time. Daily 30-minute podcasts are available from your favorite streaming provider. We post a new episode every day. The In Wheel Time Marketing Advertising Advisor and Video Technical Director is We Always Need More, Jeff Zekin. For Booking Agent, Do It All, and IT Connoisseur, Mike Mars, and Chief Engineer David Ainsley, I'm Don Armstrong. We hope you join us for another live award-winning production of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show next Saturday, February 24th, on all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets, where we'll be at the Hemi Hideout in Brookshire, Texas.
Yep.
That'll be 10 to 1 next week, special time 10 to 1. Have yourself a great weekend, and hey, stay warm out there, and we'll see you next week from the Hideout.